We're up.
All right, everybody, we are live. Welcome. Today is Friday, May 21st, 2021, just in case we forgot what year it is. Uh, Welcome to the Long Live Junto podcast. This is our newest episode. I am your host, Coach. I am happily joined by the entire crew tonight. We've got Nightmare Fuel, Beef, and Goichi in the house to join me.
That's me.
Gentlemen, welcome. Well, that is you. Welcome, boys. Welcome to the newest episode. Happy Friday to everybody. Uh, we made it to Friday, so everybody survived. That's probably the biggest and the greatest news I can probably say from this week. But let's jump right into things. We got our Junto reflection of the week, and I'm gonna have Beef kick it off this week.
So I had a really, really good week. It was it went by very quick. It was amazing how fast this week went by. It just blitzed by for me. We did I've been doing a weekly softball, which has been went really well, played really well. It's funny. I went 1 for 1 and had 5 RBIs.
Whoa.
Yeah, because I had a bunch of sack flies. It was just crazy. I just kept sack flying. People and then I threw up from fried chicken I made.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I forgot about that part.
What a great week.
Yeah. Well,
God, I'm
that
so
was-
jealous of your week.
Well, no, that was during softball. That was just a softball day. Like I was puking. My team's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Oh
I'm
my
good
god."
now.
I was like,
Yeah.
I should have just eaten Popeyes, but I had made my own fried chicken, and they were like chicken tenders, and I had it with
Uh-huh.
the Chick-fil-A sauce. Like we bought,
Oh.
yeah. So it was like, well, so I puked that out, and then I did that, and that was a good Monday. Went through the week. My dog had gotten sick. Made sure he's good now. And then played some tennis with Mr. Nightmare Fuel here. He had an epic
That's me.
comeback. Epic comeback. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was pretty much net territory the whole time for both of us. Like we were just like
Mhm.
in the net, in
Yeah.
the net, in the net. And
I was
then-
hitting it strong. Like I kept hitting it long. With I swear I didn't swing that hard, and it would just go long.
Yeah, it was a tale of two sets, but it was one set because you were
Because I'm out of shape, and
Well,
we
you're
can only
doing
play
like
one
awful
set.
at the beginning, and then it flipped over.
Yeah.
And then it was like I started doing awful, and then I was like,
Yeah.
and then we went to OT. But you guys can check that out. That'll be up. That's also the past live stream. But that was fun. We haven't played tennis in forever, so I really enjoyed just being out there, just from the athletic part. And it inspired me to want to go hike this weekend. So I'm gonna be going hiking with my buddy and taking my pup for the first time. I got him little hiking
All right.
shoes from
Oh,
PetSmart.
God,
They're
so
pretty
cute.
nice.
It's so
Got a
cute.
long PetSmart story on that one, but I don't want to take up the whole podcast for that.
PetSmart.
But
Your customers don't work for PetSmart. You know that, right? I just need you guys to know that.
Yeah, check these out. The little bootsies, little hiking boots, made by
Our future sponsor.
Arcadia Trail. Look at that! That's so adorable?
That is so
So we're gonna
cute.
see you got the medium size and the small size for him. Just because I don't know if he is a medium or small, they do. It's crazy. They do foot sizes on this. Like,
hmm
Measuring?
yeah, like who the hell knows this?
Oh wow, that's cool.
I mean,
But,
he
like,
is a growing boy,
How do
so
you know? Like, I was looking at his feet and I was like, if I measure that, it's gonna be weird, you know?
You get one of those the foot measurement, but it's
Yeah.
tiny for a dog.
Yeah, I was thinking about that with Loris. I was like, there's like a whole market because I feel like if you're in a really rich area,
Mhm.
you should just open not a PetSmart, but like a PetSmart ripoff,
Yeah,
and,
not
and
a
just
PetSmart.
make like all these like ridiculous expensive things, and they'll where it's fashionable, and I think people would pay for it because it's like, you know what I'm saying, like. Just start and then
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get it.
yeah, I think people would because there was parts of me where Lourdes thought it was ridiculous. Whoa, my
Just
wife
call
thought
it-
it was ridiculous that I bought these, but I was just like I don't want him to hurt his feet, and then we're going in like a rocky trail, so I didn't want him to get messed up. But we'll have that up. I'm gonna do some taping of that.
Junto Journeys.
Junto Journeys, yeah, and then got this little carriage bag thing. I didn't want this, but this is what I was left with, and it reminds me of when there was this picture from the guy that he was a vampire. Did you guys ever see Never Back Down? The bad
Yeah.
guy in
Never
Back
saw
Down.
I don't
It's
remember.
Cam Gidget.
Oh God.
yeah.
Cam Gidget, right? And he has a picture when he was a dad, and I was like, I think he took the best dad photo ever, where he's
Really?
you ever think about there's some dads when you're at Disneyland and they're like walking around and like these dads are just like they're barely making it. They're like just on their carriage, and then they're having like the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And then there's some dads that like they really did their hair that day, and they're like looking stylish and walking down, and I'm like, and like they have like the kid in like a backpack or like on the thing, and they just look good, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna be that dad. I'm gonna be like the New Balance dad, where like I'm just super comfortable and wearing sweats.
Yeah, I'll get you cargo shorts.
Get a fanny pack.
Cargo, fanny pack, New Balances, and I just need the bucket hat. And dude, you're in like kingdom
Oh
heaven.
man.
But Cam Gidget.
I kind of want to see in jorts.
Yeah, jorts would be cool.
Ooh, jorts.
Yeah, jorts are like we should. Yeah, jorts would be a good one. I don't know how my wife would feel about that one, but jorts would. I feel like
She's
they'd be
not gonna
super
divorce
comfortable.
you over it. Like.
Yeah, there's certain stuff.
Or
where I'm
will
like,
she?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
losing.
yeah.
I know like there's these shorts that I have that get holes in them, and I'm losing the battle on that. On
Get
those.
holes. They have holes.
They're super comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like some of my underwear. Like
They're-
it's just you can't. I
Yeah,
can't
it's
retire
to the
them yet.
point. It's to the point where you need to wear underwear with those shorts.
Yeah, for sure. Like 2 pairs.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to finish my thought on Cam, and then I'll
Oh, yeah,
hand
go
it back.
for it.
Cam Gidget, or whatever his name is, he's from Twilight and from Never Back Down for people at home. But he has a picture online. It's an amazing picture where he's like a dad, and he has like this thing, but it's like a different version, and it's like almost like a satchel, kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got the baby, and like he's just like got these like aviators on, and he looks so cool. And I was like,
Damn.
that's like the coolest looking dad ever. And I was like,
I'm gonna look this up later. Put it on the.
It's a good dude. Like if a guy, I think a dad ideally would want to look at that, but I also think he might be borderline pretty boy too much, where it's like too pretty boy. Like you need kind of like a Gerard Butler-esque kind of look too, but like maybe yeah. So but anyways yeah. So I got those for the dog, and it was a good week though. Had a good week.
Yeah, that sounds like a.
That's
Very,
good.
Oh, and it was my anniversary with my wife on Wednesday. That was like there's so much that happened
You
this
saved
week.
yourself right there.
Yeah, I was like, that
Wow.
was, we did the cheese fondue. We used Nightmare Fuel got us a wedding gift that you can spin the nozzle. It's very like industrial. Like if you go to the kitchen,
It's
they
like a
typically
meat
have
grinder
that.
for like cheese.
Yeah, they have them in. The funny part is
Ooh.
like I actually had them at Ralph's when I did that.
Oh yeah.
And it makes it like so easy to cut if you have to shred the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like
Just cranking through.
yeah, because I was actually running late on when I was and my parents got a dog, and I took Wednesday off to go get the dog's name is Milo. So it was like that was Wednesday with my anniversary, and I was like driving home. I was like, oh my god, I gotta get flowers, and I was like, and then I got to all these flower places, and they all said 5. This is what I really don't like this on maps on Apple Maps where it'll say a time it closes, and then it's not the time it closes.
Oh, they don't update it.
Yeah, like that.
A lot of flower shops are like that. Like I try to go
dude.
on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's the
like,
worst.
for
It's not
Mother's
fair.
Day.
Yeah.
Oh, Mother's Day, you're screwed, man.
Yeah,
Flowers on
true.
Mother's Day.
Mhm.
You gotta go to like a grocery store. Grocery
Well,
store
I was
flowers.
trying to get plants, like a nice
Somebody else's
plant.
garden.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
hey,
a nursery.
that-
Like nurseries aren't going to run out of stuff,
Oh,
but like the one shop was closed, but luckily there was another one in Garden Grove
Yeah.
that was open.
But that grinder thing, you can do like a bunch of different stuff. I've seen like videos of like people doing like shaved nuts, like almonds,
man.
pecans, that kind of stuff.
It's
You
really
can do like
nice.
onions or like vegetables. Like you can. It's like super. It's super versatile.
Oh yeah, you could do like have you ever had the zucchini noodles?
Mm-hmm. You can do those.
Yeah, damn.
Mhm.
That's damn.
Yeah.
You
I've
just
tried
like,
zucchini
you just like
noodles.
You
rocked
better-
my world.
You better. Yeah, use that thing.
Whole new world. All right, I'm done.
I think we found a new video for beef coming up.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Let's
but
go.
Yeah.
The Colors of the Wind is the best.
He's making editing tomorrow. Tomorrow really easily or real easy.
Yeah. Let's so
I
to
feel
Beef's
reflected.
well, if you're looking on the screen, it's to Beef's left, but is in reality it's to your right. So let's hit up
I
Goichi
knew that. I knew
next for his reflection.
This was a test.
Nothing eventful for me. Just another week of working. I kind of live. It's a Vin Diesel moment. I kind of live 1 month, 1 quarter at a time. That's how sales goes for me. So
Winning is winning.
we're almost at the end. I have 1 week left and 1 extra spare day on Monday. Well, actually, no, that's Memorial Day,
yeah,
right?
we do.
So shit, I have 1 week to
take Friday off.
make sales happen. So yeah, wish me luck. It's been a busy week, but haven't done anything crazy. I found a new Rust server that's been consistently fun and good, which is nice. So Luckily, no one's taken over my base or killed me in my sleep. So hopefully this weekend I'll have a lot of good Rust moments for you guys, and hopefully a partner to play with too.
I'm gonna
So.
try. I'm gonna take a break from editing, and I'll join you in Rust.
It's up to you, man. I'm not forcing anyone, but like John will probably join me and play.
Sweet.
So yeah, but it's been tough. Like when you play solo, it's rough because like you can't get any of the weapons or blueprints to like make guns. So like I'm out there fighting with bows, and then this guy comes up with a machine gun and just kills me in an instant. I spent like an hour trying to get resources,
Yeah.
hitting rocks and
Mhm.
cutting down trees. So it's been a hard life, but I've moved up in the world, so I'm doing good in that server. But
Farming
yeah,
simulator.
other than that, it was pretty uneventful this week. So, yeah, not really anything to look forward to other than July. My wife and I are going to take a little vacation. Probably head up to, or I should say, head down to Temecula, and just try some wine at the wineries. So, and good food.
What's
I
that?
feel like wineries
Oh,
have really
fancy.
good food.
What's your hat?
Oh, this is from a company called This Is It.
Yeah, it's cool.
In my opinion, they've fallen off a bit. I used to buy their stuff like every Black Friday. They have huge Black Friday sales, but they're a cool company. They're in downtown LA, I think, or LA area.
That's what it is, right? It's in LA.
Yeah, they're in
That's LA,
their business is in LA, and what's cool about the company is like it's ran by like pretty much like a group of friends, and like most of them are graffiti artists. So like their shirt designs, their hat designs, everything's like representing like kind of a graffiti type of design.
Oh,
And
nice.
my brother introduced me to them, so yeah, they had a lot of good quality stuff. But now I'm going back to like what I used to wear, which is like duck stuff
Violent
and
Gentleman.
violent
Yeah.
gentlemen. I mean, they have good quality clothing. And you know how when you buy a shirt and like it gets like the neck part gets like loose and old and tethered,
Mhm.
like violent
Bacon
gentleman
neck?
shirts. Yeah, like violent gentleman shirts are like pristine. Like you can wash them, like the logo will stay on there. The shirt won't like diminish or like stretch out. I mean, they're quality stuff. They got quality
They have
stuff.
all like
so
these unique designs too that fit a bunch of different people.
yeah,
Like they don't like it's like you could be like, oh, I'm never gonna see myself wear that, but then you could go like 2 shirts over. That's what I
Yeah.
like about companies like that,
yeah.
like, they're
they
like-
have a lot of designs.
It's like a bunch of people could be violent gentlemen, but like cater to the different kind of looks that you know.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
And
that a lot.
I like because they cater to like the territories, like wherever you're from, like
Oh, yeah, you
Orange
told me
County,
that. Yeah,
Austin, and stuff. So it's
That's
cool.
recent
It's
too,
like
right?
you can represent where you come from too. Not only that, you can represent your favorite hockey team on top of that. Like it's such a brilliant idea, and it's like. Violent gentlemen could be taken out of perspective, like especially if they don't really know what they're about, or if it's like related to hockey. But it's just cool. I mean, man, I wish I came up with that idea. So
Because they expanded from because they're Ducks, right?
pretty much, yeah. They
Yeah.
started in Orange County, and now
That's so cool. So
they've
it's like we're
expanded their
tied to that.
brand.
We're
Yeah.
almost like tied. Like it's like that's our. We were there with them when they were small. Like you were there with them when they were small time.
Yeah,
I don't
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
I don't know what Violent Gentleman is. Is it strictly hockey stuff, or is it like?
yeah. It's
Yeah.
pretty much a hockey clothing company. But
Okay.
man, I would say they're like the most represented like clothing hockey company like out there in the United States.
Is it like
Maybe not Canada.
Is it like custom designs, or is it strictly?
Yeah.
Is it so it's custom? So it's not strictly like team logos. Like
Oh
just,
no.
okay.
It's like
No.
really unique designs.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, every single shirt like you buy is like unique to its own. So like it could be unique to like Boston, and it's like a specific design. Or even like what I like too is like they give kudos to the AHL teams too. Like San Diego Gulls is a backup team for Ducks, and like I have a San Diego Gulls shirt, and I don't really have anything other than that. So like yeah, their brand's really cool, and their clothing's awesome.
Nice.
They do all kinds of stuff. They have keychains, towels, hats. I mean, I'm pretty much advertising for them. So
Yeah.
shout
Yeah,
out to
'cause I
Violent
would-
Gentlemen.
There's a
Yeah.
part of me that wishes like, because they were mostly Duck stuff for the longest time.
Yeah.
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 And then so like I felt like Ducks fans, it went hand in hand with Ducks fans. Like if you were a diehard Ducks fan, like I always saw diehard Ducks fans wearing.
It was like a
Violent Gentlemen.
no-brainer.
Yeah, I like to wear it because
Yeah.
weren't they started by a hockey player?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so it's like-
they had to been, yeah.
And what I like about their shirts too is like they do the same theme colors. I know this isn't like big to some people, but to me it's like pretty cool. You have the same theme colors, but then you'll have like a really custom look in it. So like I feel like other sports franchises need something like that.
Yeah.
You know what's the other cool thing is like they don't only just do like medium, large, extra large. Like they cater to like big sizes. So it's cool. Like they have like a wide audience, and like they don't just do like small, medium, large. Like they cater to everybody, and that's what I love too.
Mhm.
So, and you always see their stickers like all in Southern California.
Yeah,
The
the VL.
yeah,
Yeah.
or VGHC
Oh, that's
with
it,
the lightning strike.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
So cool
Nice.
brand. Every
Yeah.
Black Friday, I usually try and pick up like some clothing. I only buy clothing once a year.
Did you
Oh,
ever
yeah.
do warehouse sales? Did you ever go to those?
I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember,
Billabong, Quicksilver.
I did I did.
What
I did
about
those.
Chick Sporting Goods? Does anyone know about Chick Sporting Goods?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chick
Dude,
tent
Sport
sales.
became
Dick's
big.
was the
The
best.
tent
Yeah,
sales, baby.
Yeah,
Yep.
before
So
Dick's.
dope. When Etnies and like
Yeah, when it went
DVS
out.
was around,
Yeah, when it went out, that sucked.
it
'Cause
did.
Because it was the
That was
best
my school
baseball
clothing
stuff.
for the year.
Yeah, Chicks had like a lot of random stuff in it. We
Yeah.
used to
I was a
do,
skater kid and surfer kid, so it worked out perfect for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of because I did a couple warehouse sales, but I did one where like it was pouring rain and I got strep throat and I was standing in line, but I was standing in line for like 7 hours,
Jeez.
so I was just like fuck, like it wasn't raining the whole time, but it was like I was sick the whole
Mhm.
time, but then it started raining, and at that point I was like, no, I need it. It was called they're not like I know the funny part is like I got Obey. That's what it was.
Oh, Obey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was
Mm.
Obey, and it was like, and
They
I
got good clothing too.
and it was before they were like gigantic, and my buddy's like, no, these clothes are so cool, and they were cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this is so worth it. Like, they were the cool. And it was crazy because it was like $5 for like a shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, dude.
It's not bad.
There's other
Yeah.
cool ones like where you go to a warehouse sale, and this was like right by the hockey rink when I played in Huntington Beach. It was I think it was a Quicksilver warehouse sale. Unfortunately I didn't get to go. My teammate went, came back. He had a trash bag, and they pretty much give you a trash like a big industrial one.
Mhm.
You fill it up and you pay by the weight.
Oh, that's
Damn.
great.
That was
Damn.
so sick. Yeah. So he
What was
he
the
didn't.
weight?
That's
What was
friggin'
it by
awesome.
pound?
I can't. It was so long ago, but he honestly he didn't pay that much money because like for the amount he paid for the bag full of stuff, he took out like a cool winter jacket and he said, for the cost of what this costs retail, I paid for all of this stuff in the bag.
Yeah, it's a good
so
way to
it was
look
a
at it.
cool deal. I love going to
Do they
sales
still
like that.
do those? Do you
I
think?
not that I know of.
I mean, even before.
I think
before
Volcom and
Corona.
all of them still do it, but I don't know how big it is.
Yeah, because we have a lot of those brands in Southern California. They started.
Yeah.
A lot of them started here.
I think online shopping kind of killed the warehouse sales a bit, but
Yeah.
I think people still go to them. I'm too lazy though. I don't want to wait in line for that
Yeah,
long.
it's too much. It depends on if it was nice clothes like collared shirts.
Oh, that's my Trello or Twillo.
You said Trello.
You
that's
said
cool.
I know Trello, not Trello. It's Twillery. Twillery. That's what it's called.
Twillery.
It's on
Yeah.
site.
You look up Twillery. That's
Twillery.
what I wear for business. Like
Oh, that's the
business.
brand.
Yeah.
The brand. Yeah, because I feel like if
They make their own custom like shirt pins or the shirt stays. The little metal things that go inside.
Yeah, what you wear is pretty nice. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it's clean. Either buy
He
from there,
dresses super well.
Twillery, or Macy's has. People wouldn't know, but Macy's, when they have like sales, or you know someone who works at Macy's, sick hookups. They get like 50% off as employees. So I lost my
This
connection
is
there,
so
but
expensive.
yeah.
That's
You know who I
crazy,
would-
You know?
You know who I like to buy from that's expensive though?
Who?
It's a very pricey company, but Travis Matthew.
Oh my God.
I don't know
Yes,
who that
Travis
is.
Matthew. I love that
Yeah.
the Ducks partnered with them too.
The Blink 182 guy.
Travis Barker.
No, I think that's his
It's a golf company.
his stepbrother.
Travis Barker. It's his stepbrother.
Yeah, I don't know.
They have the same first name.
Yeah, that's you.
yeah.
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 They're
Yeah.
clean.
I thought
No,
it
they're
was-
pretty good. They're
And
pretty
from
they're
Max.
pretty clean company.
So my rule of thumb, like, if you want to save money
Your name's
on
Beef.
like buying like nice clothes or golf wear, dude, just go to eBay. eBay, like if you know, like what I did is I like Travis Matthew, right? Clothing. So I knew what kind of size I needed. So I would just go on eBay and like either try and find something brand new or fairly new. And dude, you can walk away with like a $60 shirt, like polo shirt, for about $10, $15 at most maybe. Like you can get a deal. I'm a bundle guy, so I'm the one that will like go out of my way, message a person, and like work out a deal with them. And it was funny because like my brother never he never did anything like that, and I told him like just try it one day, and he's like, dude, I got something for like half the price because I just like asked them.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Nice.
when you think about it, when people are posting, they're paying fees on eBay, so they want to get rid of their product, but they don't want to like lose it either.
Mhm.
So like, what do you got to lose if you're negotiating price,
I
right?
say no to all those people.
Yeah, here's
that
how-
ask me.
Hey,
'Cause-
I walk away.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know-
The worst thing you could do
Yeah.
is tell me no, and I just
Yeah.
don't buy it in the first
I just
place.
was like, I'm like, no. I don't even like.
You
They'll
know-
put this whole sentence on
Yeah.
OfferUp, and I'm like, no. Like
OfferUp's definitely different than eBay on negotiating, I would say too, because I'm like that on OfferUp. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
really
intense.
like do a whole response thing.
Here's how I do golf shopping. I buy regular clothes and then I wear it golfing, and then that's a golf. That's my golf
It's-
attire.
that's-
the money saver.
Hey,
Yep.
speaking of nice shirts, I mean, I know you're wearing your Ducks polo shirt.
Yeah.
But someone who looks like they got a nice shirt on today is
Yeah.
Nightmare Fuel.
I know. I was surprised. I wore my one T-shirt
Yeah.
today
I-
because I forgot my.
Yeah.
And I
This
was
is
like,
my-
damn, he's killing
This
it.
is my one really good shirt that I
He's in
love.
the
that
game,
I
ladies.
look really
Put
good
him in, coach.
That I really like.
Yeah.
The way I look in.
Put him in, coach.
So
By the way,
I'm
Marshalls has
I'm-
good deals
I'm
too.
trying to
Like
set 'em up.
those type of shirts,
Yeah.
Marshalls,
yeah,
good prices, man.
I've been I
Speaking
used to
of,
frequent oh yeah,
You might meet some cute
Everyone
girls
hear
there
that?
too.
yeah.
Hey, speaking of Nightmare Fuel, why don't you tell me about your week?
We had so
Yeah.
many segues
Coach,
there.
I'm so
Yeah.
proud of that.
Yeah.
Dude, that was good transition.
That was really good.
I'm proud
I
of
can't
him.
even think about my week now
Dude,
because
I'm
that
so
transition
proud
was
of
so
him for
good.
that. I mean,
Oh man, week was good. Just a regular work week. Still kind of slow. Did a couple gaming streams. Played tennis with Beef over here. That was good to get back out again.
comeback.
Yeah, the
The
comeback
comeback.
was. Whew,
It
I don't know.
was. It
I
was
don't
good.
know how that happened.
It stung
was,
me. It stung me really bad.
Yeah, but we all we're gonna get back into it. Like we gotta, cause I was feeling it. I felt so sluggish, and I felt like I hadn't played in 2 years.
Mhm.
But week was good. Weekend after the last week's podcast, I played golf with my dad. I actually kept track of my shots this time. I shot a 94,
Oh, it's
so
good.
I'm under 100. So
Nice.
that was good. I had my first chip in from the fringe. That got me a par. That was
Nice.
pretty sweet. And what else? Sunday was chill. The Sunday was just a lot of Junto stuff, just putting together the content for the channel.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was a pretty chill week. Nothing really big to report. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, I mean, at least you got to play golf.
Yeah, very
But
true.
honestly, that's honestly one of the biggest things I've missed being out here was like when I first moved out here, golf was not an option, like by any stretch of the imagination, because
Yeah.
it was cold and snowy. But this has become like I think a weekly thing for me to go last on the reflection.
Yeah, go for it.
But I'll say I think I'll kind of go the same route. It wasn't really a busy week per se. Like scheduling for like summer hours has officially started for at least one team for football. So they work out early in the morning and then they work out in the evening as well. So that part's been kind of rough just because it's getting up early for those and then a couple of open hours and then like a break in the middle of the day and then coming back at night. And it just makes it feels like the day just kind of goes by really fast. But it's officially one more week until Memorial Day. And that means that I'll be throwing all my clothes together in a bag or a couple of bags and putting them in my car. I'll be picking my dad and my brother up from the airport next week. And we're going to go see the family farm and stuff because my brother's never been there. And then we're going to road trip back to California for the summer.
Nice.
So
Sounds fun.
We gotta
I'll
get.
be
I was gonna say we gotta get
Oh, go
coach his
ahead.
own. We gotta get coach his own mic and headset.
You should live
Yeah.
stream some of that
check
journey.
check 1 2.
Oh, that's a Junto journey right
Junto
there.
journey. See the world's
Oh,
biggest
God, yeah.
wormhole.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was trying to look to see. I don't know how far out of the way it is, but like we're trying to possibly go to a couple of baseball games on the way back. But I was
That'd be
trying to see
awesome.
like where Mount Rushmore is
yeah.
in South Dakota, and like I'm like, well, if we could take like a little detour or something like that to like go, I'm like, because who
Yeah.
knows, like nobody knows what the future holds as far as like jobs and stuff. So it's like I might not be driving back that same way, or I might be doing something different at some point. It's like I'm already out here, like that'd be kind of cool to go like while we're out here. So we're definitely having we'll have to plan that out and kind of look at it. But yeah, it's been a pretty uneventful week. Just been working mornings and nights, and then trying not to nap during the day. So
Power
Yeah,
naps,
stay,
baby.
stay awake.
Power naps. That's how I live.
yeah, well, hey,
Don't
that's
pass.
that's what I took right before this.
Yeah, no
I took a big ass power nap.
no passing out while you're doing bench press or overhead press or anything.
Yeah, no, I'd like to save my trachea by not having it be crushed. But well, gentlemen, uh, I'll start off the our Junto origin question this week. I'll go ahead and go first because this I feel like kind of just screams my name. But our Junto origin question this week for everyone watching goes like this. It is: have you or any of your acquaintance been lately sick or wounded? If so, what remedies were used and what were their effects? So I don't know about you guys in terms of getting sick. I feel like I do a fairly decent job of not getting too sick, or at least I thought I did for a while. There's a couple of years span where I kind of avoided getting too terribly sick when it comes to the flu and all that. But since I've moved out here to the Midwest, I've actually gotten tonsillitis once and strep throat once, and neither one of those is very fun. And I become a giant baby when it comes to that stuff because I'm just miserable when I'm in pain, and I don't know, I don't do well. Pain for other stuff, I guess I can handle, but when it's pain being sick, I just don't do very well at all.
Yeah.
So I'm not happy to admit that, but that's the truth.
Do you think it could be
so I got those.
Sorry, just real quick. Do you think it could be the
Oh,
change
yeah.
the change in your scenery and the type of weather you're in, or?
Oh, 100%. I think it was stress, type of scenery. I don't think I was getting the sleep that I probably needed to be getting. I don't know. I know that they say when you change, when you move, completely different place and everything changes.
You were
That's
stressed.
more stressful.
Well, this is what when the flight happened when you were coming back from Southern California, you were stressed
Yeah.
because of what happened, and dude, that stress
Mhm.
alone has put me in if I've stressed out that where you're stressing for 12 hours it's also where you go to bed stressed and then you wake up stressed, and
Mhm.
if you're like that for a couple of days, I mean I've done that where I feel that way for a week, and then you just
Yeah.
once you kind of let up, your body's oh no, your body's gonna respond.
Yeah, no, it was the first time was in February and it was not fun. I was still adapting to everything and I feel like my body's overwhelmed. And then the second time I just think I was getting shitty sleep. I was eating poorly and basically thought I was invincible.
Did you go to Texas
And
Roadhouse?
I've been to Texas Roadhouse, yes.
Did you go recently?
Yeah, I've been recently.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to think of the last time I went. It's been 2 weeks.
What'd you have there?
I had I had a steak. I had a steak and baked potato, and I forgot what other side. I think I got a salad just to make myself feel better.
I feel like you guys are co-talking right now, like he went on a date or something.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, is that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
What did you have? Did you go to Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
Yeah. Well, his
did
date. His date too. Yeah.
Did you order dessert?
You didn't even bring that up.
Oh,
You
he
didn't
slid.
bring up
No,
his
I
date.
didn't.
He slid
Wow,
past.
that was good.
Wow.
I was actually talking because I was talking about something else, but I was asking if he had gone because they have a Texas Roadhouse there and we don't have that.
Oh, you genuinely okay?
Yeah. Well, we don't have.
Okay,
that.
so there's one in
really?
Corona.
Oh, I guess we do have it. Okay, never mind. Well, that's kind
God,
of
that's
It's just not-
far.
yeah, that's kind of far to.
It's not even
to drive
worth
there.
it.
But
Yeah,
I heard
it's
the
not
ones
close.
out here aren't as good as the ones in Texas where there's a
But he's
roadhouse.
not
That
in
might be.
Texas.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, he's close though. I feel like the closer
Yeah,
you
bro.
get,
The better it is.
yeah.
I don't know if I want to stay on topic or
Yeah.
if I want to go to
Wait,
Coach's date.
Yeah, let's go to Coach's date.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That's
but yeah,
the
that was a
All
good.
right, fine.
So,
Should have been in how your
Hoochie
week
Mama.
was.
blind date, or you gotta give us the whole scoop. Was this a blind date? You guys been talking? Paint the picture.
The DL. Wait, no. That's
No,
not
it wasn't. It wasn't a.
Air out the
deal.
laundry.
That's
It
what
was
he trying
it was not. So it was not a blind date.
Okay.
We had been talking. We matched on a dating app a while ago,
Nice.
and then we'd like kind of been talking, but it was like very hit and miss. Start talking again pretty consistently. Got her phone number. Found out she's from Southern California based off her phone number with the area code. Um, and so she's from Orange County, and so we've gone on 2 dates, and we went to Top Golf,
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that's a good
which
one.
Oh,
which by the
yeah.
way was freaking awesome. Top Golf is a whole hell of a lot of fun, and I'm not happy to say this, but she technically she beat my ass in Top Golf.
Well, I've seen your swing,
Um,
so
Yikes.
God, honestly, there's so many balls. I'm like, if this really happened on the
She
golf
really-
course,
is
I'd be
she-
doing great.
is she athletic?
Yeah, she's athletic. Yeah, she's a
damn, that's
basketball
pretty.
player.
So yeah, that's to
Nice.
say something like to get. Yeah, never mind. I don't want to finish the thought.
Are you okay?
No, she's.
Yeah, I don't want to like with the whole like.
Do you want another drink?
I don't want to disrespect the ladies because there's a lot of good lady golfers out there. So I was watching what I was saying.
Well, to make matters worse is that she's never played golf before.
Oh,
my
coach,
God.
you got
Did
the.
she
Yeah.
Are you
feel
being
her
a gentleman?
throw it?
Were you being a gentleman? Or were you like trying?
Well,
he
they
had to
weren't,
been
I'm gonna
nervous
be-
or something.
they weren't your
'Cause that's
clubs
not
though.
like
you
Coach.
know? Yeah.
That's not like Coach.
Well, they're
If
not
this
your
was coming
clubs,
from
though.
me, you
I'm-
guys be like, okay, that makes sense. But from Coach, like,
I'm gonna
that's
be
almost
100% honest.
unacceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% honest in that. Like, I did try. I didn't try to like. I didn't try. I could have taken like. I could have taken like the easy way out, and I've been like, I'm just gonna go for like the close target and like chip in every single time. Like, I did at the last
gripped
round
it and
just to
ripped
score
it.
some points. Yeah, like I like got up there. I took
Score
like
some
I was taking,
points.
like, this-
Did you
Yeah.
realize he saw his score and it's like so low and he's like, oh, I got a chip now.
Yeah.
I gotta make this competitive.
I gotta lose by 70 and not like 105.
Jesus.
So I was
Man,
like,
good
I was
for
actually
her.
using
Is
like
that-
the 5
that's-
and the 7.
What if like that's why you stopped dating her? Was like right then and there. You're just like,
I can't believe they would
Yeah,
have
this-
beats me at
this
Top
is it.
Golf.
Yeah. Dude, she did really well actually. I was like, for someone who was like had never swung before and like didn't know how, like she was like we like worked on some stuff and like it was a very unorthodox swing, but she was very consistent and like found the 2 targets that she could keep hitting and then just like kept annihilating those targets. And I
That's-
was like,
That's golf.
yeah, I was like,
Does she
wow.
come-
I was like, okay, I'm like,
Does she come from a sports background? Like, does she play any sports?
yeah, no, she played collegiate basketball.
Oh my
Um,
god. Nice.
So she's tall. She's tall and athletic, so she did well. And I'm not proud to say this, but she also beat me in axe throwing before.
Oh man.
oh wow.
So
Was there is there
yeah,
chemistry? Is there chemistry?
coach is 0-2, and that's not
So
good.
at this point,
yeah,
does she want to go on another date with you, or?
I need a
yeah,
real
but I'm
man.
afraid to make it. Yeah,
Damn,
she's
this
like,
guy's
I need to.
brutal.
She's like, I need to get beat. She's like, something I can't win all the time. I'm like,
I need a
shit. So I'm trying to think. I'm like,
Yeah.
You can give her a spank.
Yeah.
You can give her a spanking.
She wears the pants.
God. So
Wait,
it's
are
like,
you gonna- is there date number 2 or is it like the Diamondbacks thing?
3.
Oh,
Three.
date number 3.
yeah.
It's like Diamondbacks thing.
Well, if it's like the Diamondbacks thing, that I'm fucked.
Oh yeah, I
up
didn't mean
next
that.
week,
That
so.
was, yeah, that was bad.
Uh,
too.
But
Sorry.
no, I'm pretty sure I think we're gonna go out next week. And it's to be determined on what day and like what we're gonna do. But it'll be nice to go out because obviously I'm coming back for summer and she'll still be out here. So, we're just taking it day by day and like I enjoy seeing her.
It'd be funny if you did like mini
and,
golf, like where, and then you take it like way too seriously because of like losing the last 2 times, where you're just like in your
Yeah.
face, and you're just like screaming.
You bring like a Scotty Cameron putter. Like,
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna bring my gloves,
Coach.
like bring my golf shoes.
how are you picking out your dates? Like, are you doing it, or are you guys collabing together? I'm curious to know.
Both, but I picked. I actually picked. They're both my ideas, but we talked about it and I ran them by her
Nice.
because I was like, I hadn't been axe throwing in for forever.
Is that like
And
a
I had done
dish
it-
you can eat?
Where the axe throwing?
Yeah, because I saw some of those online where you can eat and then like you're in a group, but you're sitting there
Uh-huh.
like we'd be eating here.
I'll never go with my wife.
But like you
That
grab
axe
it
is coming
and you
right
just,
to me by
yeah.
accident, dude. Never. She was in the kitchen today, and
Had an
I
axe.
was like, dude, she almost cut my finger off.
Oh man.
She's cutting lemons, and then like she's like, here, you can take this one, and I grabbed it, and she almost chopped my finger off, dude. And she used a huge fucking knife. And not only that, last night we saw that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sabotage or whatever, and oh, actually, I don't want to ruin it, but there's a stabbing that takes place in that movie, and it
boy.
reminded me of Jen. So,
Shit,
my
that
wife.
This sounds really coordinated. Like, I
Yeah.
think you might have just.
I hope you have a policy.
Yeah.
Well, luckily I still have all my fingers, but that's cool, Coach.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
awesome.
where's
Golf
da-
is a good place for
Wait,
a date.
did you say date number 2? Did you say it or date number
Date
3?
number 3.
Is
Three,
this
sorry.
Day number 3.
So
right?
date number 3,
My bad.
yeah. So like date number 3, or hangout number 3, whatever you want to call it.
Movie night at
And so
Coach's
that's the thing
place.
is like, no, not in this old house. But I don't know. We'll probably go out and do something again, and probably go to dinner.
Date
We've gone to dinner twice at
Texas
2 different
Roadhouse.
places. Maybe.
That's how it's
and,
established.
That's what I mean. Texas Roadhouse is pretty nice. I mean, they got like really good rolls with like cinnamon butter, so I'm like, I wouldn't
think it's
turn
like
that down.
I think good food, like places like where the food is like Korean barbecue is like that too. It's not like you're going for a nice thing, but you're going for an experience, and it's a different kind.
I just
of
know
like
it's going to be
good meal,
delicious.
What?
Like, it's not fancy. I just know it's going to taste good,
Well,
and
then,
that's all I care about.
My rule of thumb is with like any girl, and this is how you know a girl really like cares about you, is within the first 4 dates you have to do a messy date. Like, cause if she can accept you there, then that tells
But
you.
I'm not a messy person.
No,
so.
see, I'm a horrible, but like that's like, you know what I'm saying.
confirm.
But like, but you'll learn
Yeah.
everything you. But if you
No, you're
wanted,
right.
if you wanted
You're
to learn about her though,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
let. So that's what I'm
You got to
saying.
take her to like a boiling crab or something.
Yeah,
Exactly.
something where she's just like,
Never
like
wipes
literally
her
just,
face.
yeah, it's like, and
Even
then
after
you
you
know,
guys are done, like
yeah.
Takes the
you know, they give you these complimentary wipes, like
She
trying
takes
to
the,
hit her.
Yeah, see, that's a flip side on mine.
She takes the paper
Korean barbecue
tabletop
my wife
and just like wipes her face with it.
But I
God.
had to be honest because I was like, man, you got to know this about me.
That
'Cause-
is true. That is true.
She's gonna take my shirt and she's gonna use it.
Set all the expectations from right off the bat, man. It'll give you
Yeah.
a great runway
Oh man.
for many years to come.
Yeah.
If you can't accept
So we'll
me,
see what
what's that
happens.
saying? Like Marilyn Monroe, like if you can't accept me at my worst, don't expect me to. Fuck, I messed it up.
Oh,
You don't deserve me at my best.
Yeah, that was it. You don't deserve me, but so she's like eating, and she's like got shit all over her
Yeah.
face. She says that to you like with a
Marilyn
mouth full.
Monroe,
Yeah.
What?
That would
I
make
thought
me,
we were still
that would
talking
make me
about
fall in
Marilyn
love.
Monroe.
Oh no,
I was gonna
like,
say, even if she was
Yeah.
like that, I don't think most men would care.
Yeah, that would make me fall
Yeah.
in love.
Like, if she attacks ribs more aggressively than I do, then I'm on board.
know-
It's okay.
Yeah, when I was dating my wife at the time, she could put food away even better than me, and that actually impressed me and like gave her more respect. I'm like, a woman who's not as scared to like eat, like I like that.
yeah, it shows like because some women are like they care about like perception too much,
Yeah.
and I think like
Yeah.
if you could
You're
get
totally
past
right.
that, yeah, that's like the right kind of woman, that just
Yeah.
don't.
Finger
Not that they don't
licking
care,
good.
but they are comfortable enough, like you know what I mean, what they know what they like, and they're willing to
Yeah.
show that. Like,
Well, and then you go to all these like public places, and all the old Asian people are telling you like, "Oh, you lucky." Then you're like, "Yeah, I know I am. That's why I'm with her."
Yeah.
You jealous fucker.
Jealous old
And that
Asian
happened
man.
to me so many times
Oh,
early
yeah.
on dating her. It was
they
ridiculous.
say you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Or
kinda
they
it's
they
kinda
assume
insulting.
we're like brother and sister
Oh,
just
yeah.
because like she's like out of my league. I'm just like, fuck
Yeah,
you.
it's kind of insulting. Like I don't say anything to anyone about that. Like I
Yeah.
would never like when I was a waiter and I could tell people on like first dates.
These old men are rude though. They
Yeah.
don't give a fuck.
I
I
feel
don't
like that's
think
a
I'll ever
cultural
be like
thing.
that,
I
though.
feel like I get
Oh
that.
fuck yeah, it is.
I get that a lot from Asian people. I used to get that a lot from Asian
I
people.
mean, there's one guy
They're old Asian men.
in my complex. All he does is walk around with his hands behind his back, and he mad dogs every fucking car.
He just judges
So
everyone.
one day, I said, "Do you have a problem?" And I gave him like a dirty look. I was like, "What is your deal?"
You
And
play
he
DMX?
He literally didn't.
Dog gonna
Oh.
make me lose my.
you just start
He
barking
literally
at him.
didn't say anything though. He just kept walking after
just
I
silently-
said that.
he just
The
And
worst
he
is like if he's
continues
like
to
a
judge.
Mr. Miyagi and he like you're just like check him, and he like whoops your ass, and you're like, oh man, you know what I mean?
This guy is no Mr.
That's-
Miyagi, but yeah,
That's what like I always
that'd
think.
be funny.
But that's like when I watch Karate Kid, I literally think of like not all Asian people, just like old people. Like
yeah,
I don't want to mess with anyone just because like
Old
you
man
just, like,
strength.
yeah, that would especially like an old
that's
person.
that shit is so Hollywood, dude. There ain't no fucking Jackie Chan's or Mr. Miyagi anymore.
Oh, dude, Jackie Chan. Yeah, he should do another one. Like not a he shouldn't do like a Karate Kid, Jackie Chan, but he should do something where like he's older and wiser.
Did you see The Foreigner?
You know? No, but like not like that. Like
Foreigner was
no,
like
no,
he was
that's
like
not
he's a
like that, like-
teacher.
No,
Yeah, like
that's
that.
right.
Like it's
Okay.
almost like kid like you're like he could make an epic one too because he's such a like.
They should
fun
just
person.
do a series how they did for IP Man. Have you guys ever seen?
Yeah,
IP
Iron Man's good. The third one's the
Dude,
best
they should
one.
just do a series like that for Jackie Chan.
Yeah, that one's like pretty serious though.
It is.
You know, it's like that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like
so badass,
if you had a kid where he could be like our like that would be his closure for Hollywood too because he came in as like this young gun and then he's closing it out like
I think he just keeps doing films to support his fucking kid from like being put in jail.
yeah that whole stuff is. Yeah, that's a whole story on its own. Right there.
Seriously.
Don't do weed in China, kids.
So now that you guys have officially flushed out the whole details of my date, which I was kind of waiting for it to happen. I was like maybe I can get through the reflection and not have anybody and not have it brought up. And I'm like maybe we can just sneak through the.
You almost.
We can sneak through the origin question, and I'm like, we can get through the two topics, and then before anybody brings it up, it'd be like, all right, cool, that's a wrap. Let's see you guys next week, or 2 weeks, like whatever. And then we just like click end stream. Yeah, we click end stream before beef, or G can like ask any follow up questions. But yeah,
You don't think we're not going to turn this? You don't think we're going to turn the stream back on?
yeah.
Now we have follow ups.
So I want to hear now. Sticking to the origin question, I'll read it again for everybody, just in case.
It's been so long.
It's been so long. Yeah.
Everyone got so
3 hours
enamored
later.
with. Everyone got done writing down like date ideas.
Texas Roadhouse.
from
And then
this
somehow
thing.
it took a segue.
Yeah.
to,
The politics of
karate,
Jackie
like,
Chan's
I don't even know
career.
where karate came from.
Yeah. So, have you or any of your acquaintance been lately sick or wounded? If so, what remedies were used and what were their side effects? So let's go with Nightmare Fuel to
right.
kick this off here.
Not so much sick. I guess I'll just go personal here. Stick with the personal one. I have like been having really big trouble sleeping lately, and I don't know if it's just like I'm awake. Like I'm just not tired, and I'm like I go to bed at like 10:30, and then like I probably don't fall asleep till like 12:30 or 1. And like I want to go to bed early. I want to get some good sleep and get rested for the day. But like I just see the time like ticking away, and I'm just like sitting staring at the ceiling like I'm just awake. Like I could be doing something. I could play another game of Tarkov or go on Call of Duty. I could have watched a movie. It's just like I'm trying to sleep, but I can't sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and I feel groggy and I don't feel rested. I've been trying using I don't know if you can see over Goichi's shoulder. I have a diffuser like for essential oils. Like I've been using lavender, and that's been like helping a little bit, kind of just relax me. I'm gonna try some CBD gummies tonight and see how that goes.
Have you ever tried so your roommate gave me this YouTube thing I watch, but it's pretty much in a nutshell, it's a form of doing meditation. And like I don't do meditation in the mornings because my mind's too, like kind of prepping itself for the morning, like work morning.
The day.
Yeah, for the day. And but at night it's really nice. Like I spend 10 minutes doing it. Yeah. And I really you make it like almost like a mission, like to focus on what it's talking about. Like there's apps called Headspace and like
Headspace
like,
is a good one.
Yeah, it's like it's
I've
like,
tried those like meditation. I feel like when I do them, my brain it doesn't want to focus.
Yeah, that's everybody's mind though.
Sound like taking a drink and rust.
Yeah, he just gulped.
But that's kind of like that's how mine is too though. Like everybody's like that because you're thinking so much. That's kind of the point of meditation is like it's to get you to like because you shouldn't like get desensitized or not. Oh, that's the wrong word. You shouldn't get like unmotivated or demotivated, unmotivated.
Well, I need to know the rest of the sentence.
Deterred, maybe.
Is it unmotivated? Is the word or demotivated?
I need to know the rest of the sentence to know where.
Well, is demotivated? I don't think it's one or the other.
It's
Unmotivated.
unmotivated is the word, I think.
Unmotivated.
Yeah.
So you get like unmotivated from like, cause like when I do, if I get unmotivated from doing meditation, it's typically because of that feeling like you're talking about, where you're like, oh, my mind was racing. I only meditated really like if you did a whole like 20-minute session, but you only really like felt like 2 minutes of it was where you could kind of like let your mind go. That's typically what happens. But then like over time, it gets better. Like I remember like when I first did it, I could only do like 20 seconds, and then I would think about all this work stuff or all this stuff about life, and then it would pop back in. And then, but what it does is like Headspace and like a lot of these apps will say, push it away like a cloud. And I know that sounds corny, but that's really how it works. It's like you gotta be like, no, think of nothing, and then like push it away, and I'm just pushing away, and then a thought will pop into my head, and I'm like, push it away, and it really, but I felt the same exact way you did, where I felt like this doesn't work, and then I would only do it for I would do it for like 20 minutes, and I got nothing out of it. But it's kind of like weightlifting. You can only lift like 10 pounds at once, or the first time, right? Or just like 25 pounder, right? But eventually you're gonna be able to curl more or bench more, and it's kind of like how meditation is. Like you'll eventually get an endurance where you're there for like 20 minutes, and like there are people that could do it for like hours. Like they can. It's just crazy to me. Like, and I respect that because it's like amazing that they can kind of keep their mind that way, because it's a stamina, like it's a try. But I was saying to you is like, if you could at least make a goal of getting to 10 minutes, just 10 minutes for me is enough to like let my brain just go to sleep.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll try. Like,
I mean, I even have
because
like
I feel
a
like
sound thing for like ocean sounds or whatever too.
Yeah,
because
calming music.
when I get to do those music things, I feel like I'm focusing on the music, and like that focus like keeps me awake again.
Everyone's different. Like there's weighted blankets that people use too, because it's
Yeah.
supposed to make you feel like secure. I don't personally like them. Like for me, what helps me go to sleep, well, really I just like knock the fuck out when I go to sleep. But my wife has been trying to help me, like when I go to sleep, like I don't just like die on the bed, because that's kind of how I don't like position myself. I don't get like really comfy. Like if I'm fucking dead tired, like I'll brush my teeth like and just pass out. Like I won't even like have good form on like the head on the pillow type of thing, you know? And so like I'll get mad headaches, migraines, whatever you call it. And she's been helping me. It actually helps. Like I got a new pillow, which helped me like with my sleeping process. And then like when I go to bed, she's like helping me where I don't like immediately just like knock out. Like I take time to breathe and rest a little, and then I slowly go to sleep. But for me, as long as I have like an ice chamber, like Mr. Freeze, like I'll knock out anywhere. Like I just can't be hot. If I'm like hot and bothered, then I can't go to sleep. Like it's a horrible experience.
You kind of said it. Like another thing too is I was reading online that when do you disengage from your phone and electronics?
When I pretty much like 10 or 15 minutes before I go to bed.
Yeah, they said like if you have it on about an hour to 2 hours before, it keeps your mind racing in the night. They said the best sleep you'll get is when you actually let it go. Like you cut it off, and then like an hour, like give yourself like so like let's say you go to bed at like 9 or whatever, because your mind races. So they even say you have a harder time going to bed too. And I don't do that, because like I'm half the time I'm working on this or like Junto or it's horrible. Like my sleep's horrible. So like, but the meditation helps with that. But like that would be, I would, if you're able to do that, like take like disengage for a whole hour and see if like no don't touch your cell phone, don't look at the TV, and just kind of like just kind of be
Could
like
just
how,
be your sleeping schedule's off too.
Yeah,
maybe
Get back on track.
yeah, because is your mind racing too?
It's just like it's a little like a little of stress too, just like about like life and like just stuff, and like it's like I'm just awake, like I'm like like it's how I am now, like how I feel now. It's how I feel when I'm just laying in bed, like I'm just up.
Yeah,
and like
you need some
That's not fun.
remedies.
yeah, no, it's not. And then like the worst is when you wake up and it's like you're just groggy and you didn't feel like you get rested.
Yeah, it is.
I hate waking up thinking, especially like work days. I hate waking up thinking like, oh shit, did I have to do something or did I have to be on a call right now?
Yeah.
So every night before I go to bed, like this is way before I go to bed, but I'll make sure like I check my schedule and make sure I don't have like an 8 o'clock appointment or anything like that. Not that like I'm sleeping in, but like for sales, like I have to. It's a process, you know. Like I have to get dressed at least from like bottom up,
That's some
and then get my hair done and stuff.
That's some salary world problems. I don't have that. I've got clock in, clock out problems.
I've been there too, man. It's serious. You gotta be 2 minutes under or 2 minutes over. So
I get 7 minutes.
damn, see?
Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty
Times are
good.
changing.
Oh yeah.
God.
California's so
The
liberal.
whole 5
I'd be
more minutes.
I'd be running up the 3 sets of escalators, man, trying to get back from lunch. Those were the days.
I use every bit of it too.
Well, Goichi, how about you? Have you been sick lately, or what's your answer for a Junto question?
Yeah, funny enough, you asked. Recently, and it was probably due to like lack of sleep for me too, but I was getting like a sore throat and a little bit of like body coldness and sweats. Like it was like off and on for me. So as soon as I feel like I get any type of sore throat, I swear by this. I'm not trying to promote drugs or anything. This is over the counter, Sudafed. The red ones, like 2 of those.
Yeah.
As like it's not, if you're already sick, you're fucked. Like you can't take the Sudafed, it's not going to help you. But I swear, if I get like a sore throat or I feel cold coming on, I'll take some Sudafed just once and I'm Gucci. So I took like I was
No,
feeling
you're Goichi.
really so
I hear this coming.
I was feeling really shitty, and as soon as I took that the next day and moving forward, like I was completely fine. And then like the only other medicine I'd say I would take is like NyQuil, but man, I don't know. When I get really sick and I need like the mucus cough medicine or whatever, and I take NyQuil, I remember as a kid like NyQuil would work, overnight, 24 hours. Now it seems like I need to drink a whole bottle, maybe 2 bottles, and then I might get better. It's so weird now.
You get like
So-
what's the word, like immune to, not immune, but like
Oh, you
Tolerance.
build up tolerance, yeah.
because like
Yeah.
it doesn't knock you out the way.
True.
Have you tried Benadryl? Like Benadryl, if I take 2 of those
Yeah.
things, I'm gone.
When my brother has allergic reactions, he takes that.
Yeah,
So,
that
like,
stuff's the best.
Mhm.
It's like
One time a manager brought in a box of donuts, right? And my brother ate a glazed donut, but it was touching another one that had nuts on it. My brother had an allergic reaction, and he didn't have an EpiPen. They gave him Benadryl. He slept his whole shift.
yeah, it's like
Yeah,
And the manager felt
Yeah.
so bad. He let my brother sleep the whole time.
so because I do this.
Damn.
I do this Sudafed with yours, and I don't know if you're supposed to mix this, so I'm not promoting this for anyone online, but I'll do 1 Sudafed and then I take 2 Benadryl,
Oh
and like
shit.
dude, I'm
God.
it's if I'm hold on
That
hold
helps
on.
with sleeping though.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, that's exactly what I do it for. It's like I only do it when I'm, when like you're
Yeah.
having a really sick, you're really
Yeah.
sick.
And you need to rest.
Yeah, like
knock
yeah, like if
No,
I.
that makes sense
But
because
then
you
I
need to
wake up
hibernate.
and like I feel like my kidneys are hurting because I didn't drink water and I'm
Oh.
dehydrated. So like gulp a ton of water, but then what
Yeah.
sucks about that is you'll wake up in the morning and you're like you have to pee really bad.
Yeah.
But it's like
Mhm.
pick your poison at that point. But
Yeah.
I do Sudafed with those 2 Benadryl now because of pretty
So-
much because your suggestion.
So you brought up water. So the last thing for me on my remedies is
Agua fresca.
lemon water. So I had a kidney stone a while back ago, and like
Ow.
anything with acidity will help you
Oh,
like
yeah.
keep kidney stones away. Like obviously you should still try and avoid like the 2 biggest things are what is it, dairy and sodium. So those are the 2 biggest major factors to creating kidney stones. But
I love both.
me too. Well, I have gone away from dairy. Like if I like a bowl of cereal, maybe we'll splurge a little on milk. But other than that,
Mhm.
it's not really. I don't drink dairy anymore. But I'm a sodium guy. Like my dad has like raised me as a kid to be a salt person. Like it's bad. But I've been trying to cut that habit. My dad salts everything because he has no taste buds because he smokes cigarettes.
You need some though.
So
Like as you get older, like because especially in women, like they have like low sodium, where like that, like my
Helps your blood pressure.
what?
It helps your blood pressure.
Is that what it does?
well, not my blood pressure.
Oh,
But yeah.
okay. Yeah,
But
like,
anyways, lemon water is gold. So I drink that all the
Mhm.
time, and it's my drink of choice. Like especially if I'm just trying to drink healthy. I love lemon water. So yeah, if anyone ever gets a kidney stone, highly recommend drink lemon water. I was in the hospital for almost a whole week with the kidney stone, and I passed it naturally. Thank God, I didn't have to have surgery or anything like that. But the only thing that worked for me was lemon water. I didn't even eat like any of the food that they brought to me in the hospital. I just God bless my wife's heart, man. My mom was witness to this, I guess, when I was like under drugs and pain meds. But when I was sleeping, I guess my wife came by like after work, and she made like 6 pitchers in the hospital for me, like cutting lemons and putting the lemon juice in there. And man, it probably, if it wasn't for her, I would have never passed that kidney stone naturally.
Did
So it would have been bad. I
Did
would
they
have
have-
had to do surgery.
Did they have to like pulverize it or anything, or
No,
it was
that's
just
the thing. Like, if literally the morning of, the doctor gave me an ultimatum. He's like, if you don't pass it by tomorrow, like overnight, tomorrow morning we're going to do the surgery on you. I'm like, fuck. I didn't want to do it at all.
Yeah.
Because like their plan was to put that freaking needle in your dick, and they it's like vibrations. Like they just break up the rock into a
Yeah.
bunch of small pieces, and then it's easier to pass, right?
yeah.
But my thought is,
Mhm.
if you break up your kidney stone into a bunch of small pieces, most likely a bunch of those little pieces are going to be spread out, and they can build later.
Mm.
Like, especially if you don't stick to like laying off on the sodium side of things, and like you're not drinking lemon water, like you're just going to keep rebuilding those kidney stones, you know. And I have to say, man, like I've had grease fire, like 1st degree, 2nd degree burns, and a little bit of 3rd, but like that pain was like really bad. But man, kidney stone pain, I have to say, it probably topped it. Like when the kidney stone was coming through at the very end, like the last day of it, I swear I was pressing my button for the IV pain medicine. Like less than 30 minutes, I would need it again. It was bad, and the way I could describe it was like someone stabbed me with a knife, and like they were just dragging the knife on the side. That's how it felt. And the worst part of the experience was when I was in the hospital, ton of nice ladies at the hospital, but each nurse that came through, she's like, "Oh, kidney stone? That's worse than pregnancy." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like
Damn.
that made me not look forward to even passing it out. So
Like, my poor dick.
yeah, and dude, that kidney stone was so bad. The first night I had it, I thought I had stomach pains or like side pains.
Did you get to keep it?
So my dumbass tells my wife, I'm going to try and sleep it off. An hour later, I'm in like so much pain. I walked to the bathroom, and I guess I passed out. Like I fell down and passed out. And that's never happened to me before. And then my wife drove me to the emergency room. And I was in so much pain.
Damn.
No one was waiting in the emergency room. I grabbed the lady's like, it'll be one moment. It's like 12 midnight, 1 in the morning. No one's in the emergency room. The lady tells me like, just have a seat. And I'm visibly in pain, right?
Yeah.
She it's like, I swear, it felt like 10 minutes went by and still nothing. And I asked her like, can you get me in the room? And she's like, you're going to have to wait, sir. I've never been so irate in my life. I grabbed a chair and started slamming it down in the waiting room
Jesus.
because it hurt so bad. As soon as they put me on the gurney, I passed out from the pain.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
Jesus.
don't get kidney stone, kids.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah, so those are my remedies, but definitely like
Damn.
Sudafed is a good one. Right before, anytime you feel it, and then lemon water, man, it's so great. Lemon water is the best.
Yeah. Now, Beef, I know that you chimed in on some remedies here, but have you been sick lately, or have you gotten ill recently
It's been a while.
as part of the other part?
Yeah, this is gonna be short and sweet on mine because I couldn't think of much. But the one thing that I heard recently was when you get a burn. So I used to work in a kitchen when I was a teenager and part of my early 20s. And one of the things that happened to me, they have this cream that most places will have where it's like part of like a first aid kit. And but somebody told me when I was at golfing, I was golfing last week with my father-in-law, and one of the guys that we were golfing with told me that I don't know how we got in the conversation, but we did, and it was about, if you have a burn, to apply
LOE?
Oh. Apply what?
LOE?
I forgot
aloe?
what it was.
Or aloe?
Yeah.
No, it's not aloe. I forgot.
Is it like a cream?
Yeah. Toothpaste. That's it. Whoa.
Toothpaste?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I guess that's like a Mexican thing. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And-
You know what's
yeah.
funny? A Mexican girl told me toothpaste would get rid of zits.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Baking-
I have heard that.
Baking
It
soda.
dries it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the baking. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Interesting.
But he had said that, and then like my father-in-law was like, nah, you should just put it like in cold water and let it sit. Just let the ache at first.
Mm.
But they said like
Mhm.
yeah, the guy. I guess like that's the thing in Mexico is the toothpaste to do that. But it's crazy because it's interesting what we have with like Western medicine, as like we rely on like a lot of things that we're told like. Well, I think we rely on a lot of things that you can just go to the store for,
Yeah.
but not necessarily like they're the best for you. You know, like they could be like just as there could be so many side effects that are bad, and like I'll hear like it's not just Mexico, it's like Asian cultures too, where they'll be like, no, you should do this,
Yeah.
and it's like not as bad, and then it ends up like your body doesn't get like addicted to it or or
Mhm.
addicted to something, or you know, like there's stuff that we do that I feel like, or we as in like you know Western medicine do, you know,
Yeah.
and
I,
so
I don't know if this is Asian medicine, but when I had my burns, besides like what the doctor, like I would have to go to the doctor to get my band-aids changed. Like that's how bad it was, and then he would reapply, and then I'd go home. But once I got to the point where I could like replace the bandages at home myself, my aunt and my mom, they would. It's definitely, I don't think it's Asian remedy. It was just like within my family. It's called Nikken, and it was like using magnets to help like remove pain and stuff.
Interesting.
And so
Yeah,
like
stuff
they,
like that
it
is
had
exactly what I'm
magnet
talking about,
water,
yeah.
and I swear like I poured it on my face, poured it on my arm, and it helped like with my recovery.
Yeah, see, like you hear
Mhm.
about that,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like you don't. It just goes to show you that
It's
like
weird how it's like not mainstream, right?
yeah, a lot of the times I feel like it ends up not being as harmful to your body because like if you ever look at like some of the stuff that we take,
Mm-hmm.
it like Excedrin for example, like I use
Yeah.
Excedrin for migraines and
I
Yeah.
just saw a commercial for that too.
but it's so bad for your body
Yeah.
and what it does and like most people say like natural healing is the best way, like just let it heal itself, but
Mhm.
if certain
Dude.
things you can't,
It's
and then,
hard to like go through those headaches. I've tried.
Yeah,
I've
that's-
tried to like toughen it out, and
yeah,
I can sleep and still have the same headache the next day.
yeah, me too.
And I
Yeah.
have to say like Excedrin's bad, and I try not to use it as much. But when I get like those really bad ones,
Yeah, it kills it.
it kills it.
Yeah, it's the fastest
insane.
one. Yeah, because my dad has it every single day, and my sister.
day?
Yeah, my sister's
Mhm.
like, why do
Wait,
you do that
He takes Excedrin every day.
every single day? Yeah.
Oh
Damn.
my god.
Well, because he
Damn.
gets. Do you know what I think it is? Well, when he doesn't.
Stress maybe.
No, he doesn't like have coffee. So like that's I think he doesn't do
You know
like
what's
caffeine.
weird is I wasn't drinking coffee. Now that I'm drinking coffee, I don't get a headache anymore.
Yeah, so you're addicted to
What the
coffee. Yeah,
fuck?
that's it.
That's so
but
weird.
But my dad will be like, yeah, I don't drink coffee, but I'm like, you have the Excedrin though, and that's pretty powerful caffeine.
yeah.
It's a kick, and he's like, yeah, but I don't. But like every time he says to people, he's like takes pride in not drinking coffee. And it's like, but you have something that's
Yeah.
kind of like just a
You take
pill
pills.
form.
Like,
You have a
yeah.
different
right?
addiction.
That aren't
Yeah.
like supposed to be daily pills.
And it's like not as bad as coffee because like black coffee is not that bad for you
Black
comparatively.
coffee is not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so if like I said to my dad, I'm like, you might as well just drink a couple sips of black coffee, and that's your kick. Versus like, but
Mhm.
he said that like he used to get neck pains and headaches all the time.
Hmm.
It kind of reminds me of like what we talked about with smoking weed, where like it just takes that pressure off of your head. I think my
Yeah.
dad like my dad doesn't like my sister will say like, oh, it does this to your body, and it's like, well, I'll deal with it later kind of thing.
Mhm.
But he says like,
Mhm.
would you rather live like every day feeling a certain way versus you know like shorter lifespan and then but like you could have a long lifespan but then like it feels horrible to live it
Yeah.
versus like so but yeah I always like I'm more open because of my wife now to like those things because my mother-in-law is a very smart woman, like she's very like just street smart, like she'll say something and it's like it's pretty like we have similar kind of the way we think, we're similar, but the way she keeps it simple and short, doesn't need to elaborate, and but she's like that with with not medication but
Remedies.
like remedies, like what you just said about magnets. Like there's a lot of stuff that she really
I
believes
used to wear
in.
magnets in my shoes too.
Yeah, see, like, and that's like, it makes sense too, because if you think about magnets with, I'm not a scientist or anything, but like the magnets and like our magnetism in the Earth, there's probably something there. Do you know what I mean?
I
Where,
swear to
like,
God, if you have a stomach pain and you're on the toilet for like an hour, but you apply that magnet, like you just put the magnet like near your stomach, it goes
I
away.
gotta try that.
It goes away.
Instant
It's
instant
crazy.
shit.
Just look up the company too. Like the company we used to use is called Niken, and they're still around.
Niken, okay.
Yeah, Nike, I think. But yeah, you know what's funny is my dad's retired and he's been retired, but he has a cup of coffee every day, maybe even more. But he'll drink coffee and then he'll put either like Kahlua or Bailey's in it. That's how he drinks his coffee.
Damn, he
What
does
a
it every
champ.
morning like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
he did that when he worked too.
that guy's hard. Kahlua is good.
Yeah,
loves
Kahlua is so addicting too, because it's yummy when you
Yeah.
taste
White
it.
Russian, baby.
it is.
Yeah.
Oh, love it.
The
But-
dude.
Colorado Bulldog
Oh,
is the Wild Russian.
dude, the
it's
Colorado both.
Yeah. It's the Coke to your. Just gotta add Coke in there.
Yeah, that Coke, I don't know. It
Yeah.
just adds something way better.
Yeah, it does. It changes.
It's
It
the
makes it like
cola.
chocolate milk.
It's the caramel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna have a bunch of those coming up here when I come back. All right,
For sure.
Good.
we're having like
We should-
when
we-
I think our first podcast that I filmed, we should make those.
Well, I think
We have
Nightmare
a
said-
so we had a segment we were gonna do called BYOD.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bring your own drink. I had misread the Trello board and I thought it was just we were gonna talk about our favorite drinks, but it actually said we
I had a whole
were,
thought process.
yeah
in it,
we
sorry.
bring the ingredients and we make our drinks and give it to
Oh, we're doing
give
that.
it to the teammates. Yeah.
Yes.
I've got one for you guys. Then I got one because I feel like
apple
one
juice?
of you two. Yeah,
Yeah, you better
maybe
be,
it's just sterile urine.
oh god.
No, I've got a good idea of one that I've made before, but I figure one of you guys probably wants the right White Russian, or maybe Beef wants the Colorado Bulldog. But I have another one I want to go down a different route that I've already got in mind for you guys. So I can't wait to, like, when I get back, when we're all in person, we can share that. That'll be a
Sounds
good
good to me.
segment.
We could actually do a fireside chat because I think you had said something, or you said something about doing a next actual fire, because we're
Yeah.
called
Oh,
Fireside
yeah.
Chat. Yeah, like where actually is like
Hell yeah.
we're gonna light Nightmare Fuel's room on fire.
Oh sweet.
I can bring a
Oh,
I
yeah.
have that
Great.
that barbecue thing.
Let's
that
just kick
stove
that
thing.
deposit.
Yeah,
down.
that'd be good.
Yeah, I
yeah,
can always bring
yeah.
that.
Then we
yeah,
can
there's yeah, that'd be cool.
just have Korean barbecue right here.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. It makes the room like 20 degrees hotter.
Oh yeah.
'Cause of
Well,
the
the
steam.
smoke, too.
Yeah, it's just like
Smoke. But my room,
Yeah.
but my
it's
room
like
will smell
your neighbors
delicious.
above are like everything's just blowing on fire.
But there's like one big grease stain
Yeah.
on the ceiling.
I open all my doors and windows and turn on the fan to blow all the smoke away.
yeah, like I'm just standing there during the podcast, like just like you have me out there, like just like trying to fan.
It is
out.
best to eat it outside because even if like
Mhm.
you take care of the smoke and everything like that, like that grease and like everything
Yeah, the
gets on
grease
the
is the
ground,
worst,
and
yeah.
it's like it's horrible.
Yeah, because we used to like, you know that in Korean barbecue places they have the fans that
Yeah.
suck it in.
Yeah,
So like I had to clean those at Ralph's,
Oh,
but like
man.
Ralph's was like they wouldn't clean it every day. I don't know how often they clean actually Korean barbecue places, but I'd clean it every week, and it was disgusting. Like, you know, like the Clorox wipes, those Clorox like the ones you get at Costco. So like I would do
Mhm.
one of those for one panel thing. So you have to take them out, and I would have to do 8 panels on front and 8 panels on the back on the
Jeez.
other side. And those are. It's disgusting.
Humbling
yeah.
times, man.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's
Grease traps are gross.
yeah, I'll never
Mhm.
forget. Rest in peace. Never forget.
Well, boys, I think it's since we're not doing BYOD this week, because obviously I'm not there, and like none of us brought our drinks, but we do have 2 segments tonight, and I think one of them is potentially controversial, maybe to say, maybe that's hyping it up too much, but I think the other one is probably pretty fitting, being that I'm about to, I won't say necessarily travel, but road trip back to California for the
Mhm.
summer.
That's why I picked it.
So maybe it's a little, yeah. So I think it's very fitting. So props to Nightmare Fuel for that one. But the first one we're gonna do here, it's called Traveling Do's and Don'ts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through everybody. We're gonna have one travel do and one travel don't, and I'm fine with starting off unless we have any volunteers in the audience here that want to go for travel doing first.
Is it like because you made this, right, G?
Not me.
Oh, did you put this?
This is probably you.
Yeah, it wasn't me because there's no description. I always put a description.
Oh, I don't remember doing this.
It wasn't me.
I
was
definitely
a-
didn't do this.
It was a ghost.
Travel.
There was
I
a
mean,
there
it
was
could've-
a there was a description on it.
Oh, maybe I did do it then.
Yeah,
But there has to be a
I was
description.
gonna say.
there was a description on it, so I think it was UG.
Let me see.
Yeah,
I
because
think that's definitely a
like to give like kind of a set of guidelines. Are we talking like?
There's
yeah.
no description.
Oh
on
wait,
it.
maybe there isn't. No, that's the wrong one. Where is it?
Yeah, this definitely wasn't me.
Okay. Okay, so it's got all our. So this,
Honestly,
this is Max, I think, or Beef, I think, because it's got all the labels on it.
I don't remember doing that. I might have taken it from somebody else. Coach's
Yeah.
thingy's off.
Whoa. Yeah, that's the OBS Ninja. There's nothing I can do about that.
Coach's thingy.
Oh yeah, Coach's thingy.
Hey, you leave my thingy out of this, all right?
Or I'll put that thingy inside you.
So I
Yeah,
guess you should just say it however you want.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
There's
just
no
leave it
rules
up.
around it,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then let Coach go first.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of one.
Yeah, so I don't mind going first because this was kind of like actually a process that I had to go through just for like planning out my trip to move out to the Midwest. But it also gave me a lot of time in the car with my dad, who grew up doing a lot of traveling. Like they would come out to the Midwest every year for like their summer vacation to see his grandparents or my great grandparents, and my my dad's parents or my grandparents would basically plan out a lot of this stuff. They would take like different routes to get back here on different years, and they'd stop and make things. So like he's like pretty well traveled when it comes to this stuff. But I think a travel do uh, is for sure if you have the time available to yourself. Uh, stop to see like the little things along the way. Like even if it's like a 30 to 40-minute drive out of the way and not like direct, like allow yourself to go experience something different in a different town. And like I know Beef was joking, but it's kind of really serious. Like the whole like the world's largest ball of yarn, like something stupid like that, or like the big, or like the giant,
live
like
your
the
life.
biggest, like yeah, be free, experience some excitement, spice up your life, and
So my dad.
Go.
be
It's
romantic.
like the
and go
world's
see,
biggest toilet.
yeah, go see like the world's largest dried piece of shit or something. Uh, like I don't know, go see like the largest chainsaw collection or something. I don't know what the fuck it is, but like little things like that. Like one, it's if it's someplace where you have to go and like pay, like it's supporting a local business and like a small like a
Sure.
family operated thing,
Mhm.
which is always I think is always like kind of along our lines.
Like the Tremors
But
Museum.
it's also cool because it's like, fuck, that'd be awesome.
No, there
But
is
like
a
yeah, like
museum.
stuff like that. See, I would 100% go to that.
It's not just Tremors though. It's focused on. It's like on the way to Mammoth. It's focused on like
Okay.
the Wild Wild West and like all the productions and movies that have like been filmed out like near Bishop area, I think. And so it's like
Yeah.
a museum with all the props and everything. And there's literally like somewhat of a life-size Tremor in the museum.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my shit because it was so cool.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
I'll have to look up the
That's
museum.
a
I'll
little
look it up.
thing. That's a little thing I would do, and then I think that's a good travel do. I would think travel don't do not assume that you'll just be able to make it to the next town if you're low on gas. Because one thing I actually encountered on here was like it said there was gas in 50 miles, and I was like, well, I've got 80 miles left on this tank of gas, and I was like, we're cruising down the highway, we're totally fine. And I was like, we don't have to go to the bathroom or anything. I'm like, we'll just get gas. Well, we got to that little town, and the gas station that was there was out of unleaded gas and only had diesel until like the truck came. So like we thankfully got bailed out because there's another gas station like 20 miles past that. But when you're out in the middle of the Midwest, that's not always the case. So I would say don't assume that, like, get gas when you can. Don't always assume that you can just keep pushing it to the end. Is my travel don't. So no one needs to be stranded
There's
on
no
the side of the road.
stress like that. Like where you're the
Yeah.
gas. Yeah. I
Yeah.
hate that stress. Like
Start slowing down. Put it in
Yeah.
cruise control. You're like, how can I get like
your instincts kick in? Like
I usually fill up like when I'm at like at a quarter
yeah,
tank.
that's just good. That's just good practice.
Do they still have the call boxes on the
Yeah.
side of the roads?
Yeah.
They do. Oh.
Some places, yeah.
I feel like I never see anyone use them
I don't
anymore because
either.
we have cell phones, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Mhm.
think don't those come with like water and gas?
no,
No,
I don't
I
think so.
thought
I've
they
never
did.
heard of
I
that.
thought
Free
they
gas.
did.
They'd all be stolen because
Sure.
of the gas right now.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, gas. You know, the gas costs would be like.
I know there's. I'm pretty sure there's water in there though.
Yeah, I remember like people would stipend, when I lived in my parents' house because I'd park on the street and it would stipend people's gas
Mhm.
Oh,
because
really?
it got that expensive. Yeah,
Damn.
during the Obama
Damn.
administration.
That's not very nice.
By the way, that museum is called the Museum of Western Film History, and it's
Mhm.
located in Lone Pine, California.
Yeah, I remember us talking about. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where that's
Seven-
at.
I
The
honestly I think it's
$3.95.
like $3 or $5 admission to get into, so it's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all. So who wants to go next? We're taking volunteers tonight. Who
I'll-
wants to go next for travel do's and don'ts? All
I'll jump in. I'll jump in.
right, let's hear it.
Travel do is stock up on all your snacks, all your drinks, before you get on the road, because
Mhm.
if you are like on the road and you stop and like you're just gonna go on like a crazy shopping spree. And you're gonna pay like way too much gas price or gas station prices, and then you're not gonna have as much of a variety. But if you like go to the store like the day before or an hour before you're actually leaving, you're
Mhm.
gonna just be able to go to town. You're gonna get exactly what you want, and you're stocked up, and you don't have to worry. It's just less stops that you need
Mhm.
for your trip. And travel don'ts, I would say for me personally, I don't wear any like jeans or any like nice clothing. Like always wear just the most comfortable clothing that don't care what anybody thinks when you stop to get gas.
So we're
Mhm.
talking about road
Keep-
trips, right?
Yeah, road trips. Yeah.
Even like going to Vegas.
Yeah,
or
I guess that's what
something
I'm.
like
I guess it's up for interpretation. I
Yeah.
guess so. This is for a road trip. I guess I'll say now.
Mhm.
Like if I'm going to Arizona, like I'm wearing gym shorts or pajamas, and I'm going to the store before getting.
I was gonna make a comment, but I won't.
Do it.
I was gonna say like every day. Except today. Except today, you look really good. I
Yeah.
just wanna
He's a
say that.
traveling
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Except today, you look
No,
really
no,
good.
yeah.
You
I
look
mean-
really good. I don't want to.
We got
be-
Rigo
wait,
Suave
hold on,
over
so-
here.
hold on. Be comfortable.
I want to fix that. You look
What?
really good today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I have nice
discourage
clothes.
You.
I
don't
just
wanna
like to be
discourage
comfortable.
you. But this is
When in
comfortable.
Rome.
This is comfortable to the eye.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I'm. You can
Girls,
keep. You can keep.
girls are like, whoa.
you can keep looking. Yeah.
That's
What
nice.
did they say?
Yeah,
That's
look
in
down.
the eye
Just-
of the beholder.
Keep it down here. Here.
It's like
Yeah.
that saying we said. The only a face, like when
Face only a
like,
mother can love.
Yeah, that's the worst insult you could say to someone.
Yeah.
Like worse than "f
Mhm.
you" is like you have a face only a mother.
But
can
that's
love.
when you pull out the Uno card and you're like, my mom doesn't even love my face, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
My mom's dead.
Oh wow.
Draw
that-
two.
That's the ultimate.
Yeah, that was like kids would do that. They'd be like, "Well, I banged your mom," and then they'd
I'm
be
an
like-
orphan.
Yeah, then you're
Yeah.
like, "Well, my
Like-
mom's dead," and then you're like, everybody's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
And
I
then
have
you're
two
like,
dads.
I think I'm an. I think,
Daddy wasn't there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm an orphan is even worse, is because like the mom actually didn't want you.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah,
It
those
sucks
are-
if
oh,
orphans
man.
are watching this right now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're like, that's not true.
Yeah.
My mom
Yeah.
could have died too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Batman status.
I mean, Buddy the Elf was an orphan, so.
Yeah.
Well, he's an idiot. And he crawled into Santa's sack. So,
Yeah, that's true.
and his mom didn't give him up. His dad left.
I mean, if I was like
Yeah.
a billionaire kid and like
Be
I had
accurate to the
Alfred,
movie, Coach.
I'd be fine
Sorry.
being an orphan.
Yeah.
I need to watch it again.
Like Mike, where you get those shoes.
Make
Lil
me
Bow
like.
Wow.
Because I was like, dude, I was like, that was the best. Did you ever see Rookie of the Year? Because that was pretty much the Rookie of the Year to basketball. And whoever
Mhm.
wrote that, I was like, but they did Michael Jordan's like North Carolina shoes, and I was like, and that was from Space Jam.
I don't know that Lil Bow Wow
Sneakers.
movie. I just get that mixed up with Air Bud. So
Oh, dude, I love like Mike. Like I had the bully. I felt
Mhm.
bad like the white bully that was in Breaking Bad. He's
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
he's like the worst kid ever, and he's just
And then he
like,
grows up to be
yeah,
the worst.
Yeah,
the worst Nazi
dude,
ever.
he looks like Matt Damon.
Oh man. I see
Get a
it.
paternity
He's
test.
definitely got the head,
Yeah, he's a and
the head
yeah,
shape.
he's like not as good looking as a Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Like I would say.
Oh my god.
Sorry, that took a spin again.
Yeah, we're good at these tangents.
Yeah. All right, Beef and Goichi, fight to the death. Who wants to go first, and who wants to go last on a travel do and don't?
I know now, but if you go,
You can
you
go.
want to go.
You can go.
So I've had two experiences that were horrible, and I just
Mhm.
I don't know if I would just say this is a don't by so when you're I know this sounds like a joke, but this really did happen. But I had flown into London with my wife, and there's two airports. Always make
Mhm.
sure what airport you're flying. So if you're flying in somewhere. So we flew into Heathrow, and then that's the major international airport. Like Heathrow's
Mhm.
it's their LAX, their JFK in London, and we flew in there, and then I made the assumption. So I bought it through this service where it's called like Just Fly, which is like a really cheap service, but it like saves you so much money. But I bought that saving money, and everything worked out fine. But this fatal flaw that I made, I didn't look at where we were flying out of. So we
Mhm.
had to drive all the way down it's a 4 hour drive from Manchester to London. And as we were driving, we were racing like to get there because we were kind of behind. And in my
Mhm.
mind, I'm like, we needed to drop off our car at Hertz, then get on a subway, then take the subway. And it was like 20 stops which that is all really horrible. That's another lesson learned. Don't do that. But like 20 stops to the airport. We do all of that, then we get to the airport, and it was this lady, and she's like, honey, this isn't the right spot, or she said something like that, like in that way, and I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, you're flying out of Gazno, or which is the other airport, and
Oh yeah.
we had like an hour, and I was like, oh my god, and I like looked at my wife, and so I run up, and I was like, we didn't even have time. I didn't have time to even be mad at myself. I was like, we gotta go. So we're running, and then like, the way London's set up is you can't call the taxis can't be sitting there technically, and you can just spawn them or whatever the word is.
Wave them down.
Wave them down. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can't just like you have to call them, right? And the guy's like, call me, and he wasn't explaining why, and I'm like, what? He's like, call me right now, and I was like, okay. And then Laura's just like, isn't that, or my wife's like, isn't that weird? And I was like, yeah. And then like I do it, and he needed to be riding, but dude, there's a $200 cab fare because it's in
Ooh.
London. And the way the cabs are there, they don't have Uber or Lyft or anything. This is like obviously fatal in London, but the rule of thumb is when you're flying if you're using like a place where they kind of schedule everything out for you, make sure you're at the right airport. Like, I know everyone's probably like that. You're an idiot for not looking
No,
at
I'm
that.
sure that happens a lot.
But like I
Oh,
just
that happens way
assumed
more than you think.
I made assumption like, oh, I'm flying
Yeah.
out of the same airport, and man, that was
Mhm.
like, and that's something that's unlike me because it's such a small detail, but then it's such a major problem if you're wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so that was problem
Mhm.
one, and then problem two, because I don't have any dues. Like, I live your life. That's your due, but the other don't. Because like I'd rather people learn from my mistakes than because the dues is like just everybody travels so differently.
Well, your due could be make sure you're
Mhm.
going to the right airport.
Oh yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't.
Yours is like a do and a don't.
Yeah, yeah. I just think like because everybody travels so different, you know. It's like I have people
Mhm.
that are like I get really worked up when I travel. So I love road trips more than planes because of that because I'm more relaxed. But then
Depends
like
where you're going. But
yeah, but like everybody's so different. Like everybody could have a totally
If you're taking a
Yeah.
flight to Hawaii, trust me, you're going to
Yeah,
like that
see,
flight.
yeah. So like that. But like there's people that I feel like something that could totally like trigger them or make
Yeah.
them stress
Definitely.
like would not do it to me, but then something that like bothers me, people are like, oh, that doesn't. Why are you
Yeah.
even stressing about that? So I always felt like just
Mhm.
live your life, kids. And then so the don't is this another one. So don't cheap out too much on. Well, this is like a general thing, but don't cheap out too much on your rental car. But this is why I'm saying this.
Always
So
get insurance.
yeah, so yeah, I would say get insurance, or if you even have your own car insurance, that should work too. But I got a Yaris at Salt Lake City.
Gross.
Oh God, this story.
Yeah, Salt Lake City, and we were anyone that knows anything about Utah and Salt Lake City, I'll describe it. But pretty much Salt Lake City is surrounded by a bunch of mountains, right? It's a really beautiful city, and we had to drive from Salt Lake City to Arches National Monument. No, National Park, and Arches is on the exact opposite of Utah. So Arches is closer to Colorado. Salt Lake City is more toward the Nevada side. So you're driving
Mhm.
across state kind of thing. So I'm on a map that I was looking at. It was like, oh, this will be easy. Like I'll just drive the Yaris through to this side, and then we'll just take the road. Like no problem, right? Well, problem one is it was not the middle of winter, but it was like yeah, middle of winter. It was like February time. So in my mind, I was like, no, I can make this through. And then I checked the travel conditions for most of them.
Mhm.
Um, the travel conditions on the road we were going, and it said it was good, right? But then what happened is as we were driving, so I was like, all right, let's go. So we're driving, and then we started going like up, and like we were going up like up higher, right, elevation wise. And then all of a sudden, like I'm with my buddy, and there's like some snow coming down. It's like okay, that's fine. Like we can make it through with this Yaris, and then it just keeps going. And then I was like, just more, and then it started to become like a lot of snow where I was like I almost at that moment I probably should have flipped. So at that moment go with your gut and flip around if you're feeling it, and just don't
Mhm.
risk your safety. But I just kept going, and then all of a sudden it just got harder, and then it started to become where you could not see in front of you anymore.
Dang.
And there's a Sherwin-Williams truck, and I don't know where that guy is, but this guy was a guardian angel. Like I'm not even I'm totally 100% serious with this. We didn't have chains or anything on this Yaris, and it's a two-wheel drive. And there was you also don't brake too hard because you'll slide right onto the ice. But I
Mhm.
was a Sherwin-Williams truck went all the way up and then all the way down, and I followed that guy all the way up and all the way down on his tracks, and I would go with him because he was breaking part of the ice, and and I'm not even kidding. How many times we were on the mountain where it's literally just like bad and ton of snow, and I have my buddy there, and he loves to make jokes, and and I was like no, like just
Yeah.
I was like shut the fuck up, like screaming at him because I was so like tight because it goes into the whole thing like not only if I this mess up not only cost me my life, but then it cost my friend my life.
Mhm.
So this tip is if I had a better car, that would have saved a lot of problems. Or
Mhm.
really map out where if you are going, like don't outsmart your common sense. Like the little details about where you're traveling, like you just assume when you're traveling, the worst thing is going to happen when you're in a car, and prepare yourself as much as you can for that. And that would be like my due to that
That could
note.
definitely be your due. Like, just don't skimp out on your rental. Like, get
Yeah,
yourself a.
because even if we had like
Yeah.
I think even if we had like like it, we would have to had nice decent like my tires, my all
Yeah.
terrain tires. Even if like we had like solid tires, it's like it would or all terrain tires, not mine are all terrain, mine are off road tires. Like all even like all terrain, I still feel like we would have been risking our lives.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it
does-
was like
to me that doesn't make sense though. Like if you're a rental company out in an area like
yeah, why
that,
they didn't say anything?
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that. Like,
Well, I didn't tell them. So
you could literally
yeah.
make
Yeah.
an easy upsell too on top of that.
Yeah, because
Easy.
we flew all. It's so trippy. They knew we were going to Vegas, and I had said I was going to Vegas because we did this whole like trip around
Yeah.
to back to from Arches back to Nevada. So
Uh-huh.
and I don't think I ever. Maybe I didn't say we were. I think I might have said it, but yeah, like why would you have a Yaris in Salt Lake City? Salt Lake City is like
Mhm.
the is really doesn't get as much snow as like the mountains above it.
Mhm.
But we even like yeah, I agree with you. Like I would have said
That's crazy.
yeah, it's too much of a risk to do that. But yeah, that's that's mine for sure.
yeah, like they could, like they usually have like conversations like, so what are you doing here? Or like what are you like? Oh, you're going through the mountains.
Well, maybe he was just.
You're getting a Yaris.
I don't get
Yeah.
paid enough to care.
Yeah.
It's wintertime.
Yeah. Or he just wanted to kill you. I don't know.
It's closing time. He's just like,
Yeah.
I need to get
Probably.
to the bar.
Yaris will
It's
do it.
closing
he sees-
time.
No, he sees you guys. on
Yaris coming over. Sorry.
He sees you guys on the news. Like, oh, I know those guys.
I sold that guy a Yaris.
Yeah.
I got him extra insurance.
How am I going to
too.
get that car back?
Yeah. Oh man.
It's like O'Doyle rules. O'Doyle rules.
Yeah.
Like the Billy Madison or
Yeah.
the banana.
Oh man, that thing was
Yeah.
there for a while.
How about you, G?
Alrighty.
What you got for us?
So for me,
Give us some do and don't.
mine's focused around traveling on airfare, so flying through planes. The traveling, let me see, I had it in my head. Oh, the traveling don't pick a seat in the middle, obviously. Like, that's the golden rule for me in the airplane, especially if,
Mhm.
like, you're flying with someone else. Like, just make sure when you guys pick your seats, like, just pick, one where it could be either on the window and in the middle or on the side aisle and in the middle. I like I like putting my feet out and stuff, but I've noticed over time that the stewardess don't give a flying
Yeah, they hit
shit.
you?
Yeah, about
Yeah.
your leg being out.
Yeah.
Like they won't warn you at all. Like what you see in movies is so true. Like you put your head out or you have your leg out, they'll run that shit over.
Move,
They don't.
bitch.
It happened
Get off
multiple
the
I gotta
times.
give my Coke to people.
It happened multiple times on one flight for me. So ever since then, I don't like the aisle seats. I'll take the window, and then my wife will sit in the middle one, and like we'll just chill there. But yeah, I never suggest like don't ever pick like the middle seat because that's just the worst.
Some
So,
people love it
Mhm.
and they're crazy. They like the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Two
called
arm
skinny people.
Yeah. Seriously,
Coach.
During
So-
COVID, they like you.
that is the best.
Yeah, because they split it up. Like my wife and I only had. Yeah, actually, it was really great. We went to Texas. It was just us two in the row.
Yeah. See.
So
That's
we
the
would
best.
split it, and like I always take the window, but the only time the only time the aisle makes sense is like if you had to go to the bathroom while you're not feeling well.
Yeah.
But man, I love the window because I could like rest my head on it and
That's
fall
the other
asleep.
thing for guys too.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we can hold our bladder right. Well, in a
Oh
sense.
yeah,
And the women like they have to use the restroom, so like it makes more sense for my wife to be closer to the
Yeah,
aisle.
for
So,
sure.
yeah, that's the one. The definitely don't for me. The one do for me is it's kind of like I don't know if it's a cheat code, but I never hear a lot of my friends talk about it. But what my wife and I do is when we're traveling for like a couple days, not like 2 weeks or anything like that, even like a week, if you can get away packing your stuff in a medium bag, it has to be a specific size, but you can literally take a roll-on bag plus a backpack plus like a satchel or whatever else, like a little handbag. So what I do on like business trips, to give you guys an example, is I'll have my business backpack. I'll have a mini suitcase, and this is for like a weekend or 4 days away. And then I'll have it's like a little briefcase that sits. It can slide on
Mhm.
top of my suitcase, and what it does is it carries all my suits, and it folds up into like a briefcase, which is really cool. But anyways, so technically at that point I have 3 bags, right? The suit bag I take with me, the backpack I take with me. So the suit bag goes on top of the cargo, and then the backpack stays with me, and all my valuables. It stays with me on the flight. And then what I do to avoid a fee to take my luggage on is I check in early, and I check in with this like the front desk people of your flight, like wherever the terminal is, and you check your bag in because they'll say, are there any early check-ins? And what that means is like you can check in bags without paying a fee because it's under like the weight and size. So instead of paying for like a big ass suitcase and like some of your clothes to be in there, if you're not filling up a huge suitcase, use that cheat because then it costs you nothing, and then you just pick up your bag just like everyone else. That's the only thing that would delay you, but everything's free at that point. So that's
Right.
my one do is I would say if you travel light, like I know some people will just like take a couple shirts, shorts, and underwear, and like
That's
they're good
me.
to go. Dude, you could just take a small briefcase or a small suitcase, and you don't have to pay. What is it, like $40 or something like that?
So you're saying
Check
you
a
can
bag.
check
Yeah,
it in
probably
if it's
around
too
there.
light?
Yeah, if it's
I didn't know
because
that.
they
Yeah.
have like these like metal boxes, like, and it's just like an outer box, and like you have to be able to fit your luggage in there. Rarely do they even like test that out. Like by the time you already make it to the front of that terminal, they're like, "Fuck it, I'll just check it in for you for free."
So when you check in, you have to check out at the front desk though, right?
Yeah, you do, but
Yeah,
as long as
because
it looks
usually I
small
use
enough.
the digital.
I mean,
yeah.
they know. Like, if you have a huge one that's like up to here, like obviously you gotta check that in. But I'm talking about like the ones that are like travel size,
Yeah.
but you can still fit a decent amount of stuff in it.
That's nice.
And
to,
then
like,
you
go
can
in
carry
off,
bags too on top. Like, dude, get away
Yeah.
with 3 bags and you don't pay any fees. That's the best.
Yeah,
So-
that's pretty. That's a pretty good tip.
That's a pretty
Yeah,
good
'cause
hack.
I don't think
like
a
that.
lot of people know about that actually.
Yeah. So it works every time. So yeah.
Well, I think that was. I mean, if anybody else is having to travel, coming up here because it is, summer is right around the corner. You got Memorial Day coming up. Then you got July 4th. For anybody who's watching this now or watching this later, I think that's definitely all those things are like definitely ways for us to like save money. Especially like G's. I like that for being able to like check your stuff and kind of like to make the most of it and without saying like necessarily hacking the system, but it's like I think it's a way to definitely take advantage of
Hacker man.
what you're able to do. So
Yeah, because they won't advertise it to you.
right, why would they? Like, I mean, it's not advantageous for them too, but they also like want the process to go. They just want people to get their bags on the fucking plane, so
True.
they'll get them on there as best they can. But so we got we got our last segment for the night. I know this is, like I said before, it could be controversial, could not be. Um, we two of us have worked in a restaurant setting.
I have worked in a restaurant
G.
setting as well.
Okay, sorry. Phew, okay, G, have you worked in a restaurant setting?
Check yourself.
Coffee shop.
Check yourself.
Okay, well that still works. Okay, so all of us have worked in food and or beverage.
I love you, Coach. You're doing a great job
where this is a
hosting.
thing.
Mine was a coffee
Thank you.
shop / shaved ice / ice cream / flower shop / cell phone shop.
God, I love
Slash
Asians.
pawn shop slash we had a butcher in the back.
Meth
I
lab.
consider him my uncle, but he had a crazy brother who was a co-owner, and he was the one that was like entrepreneur, tried to do everything, but never worked a sweaty day of his life. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so the topic on hand today is tipping, to tip or not to tip. So we can give like a brief perspective, or I guess like ideology on tipping in general. As we know, I don't know, there's like a lot of things that go out there in terms of just like the nature of tipping in certain settings. Just a couple that I can think of off the top of my head, like the tipping on takeout orders versus like sitting down at a restaurant and like having a server like there for you your whole time. Also, there's the whole ideology of like how much to tip. So like people say like 20% is a really good amount. Other people say like 10% is good, or just go 15 to 17% to like cover the middle ground. Um, I think there's like the old myth of like just tip the tax or double the tax,
Yeah, I doubled the tax.
which some people are like, oh, I double the tax or I tip whatever the tax was is what I do. They just like mirror it or round it up to the nearest dollar or whatever it is. So there's definitely a lot of like ideas, methods, beliefs going around for that stuff. Some people just tip like a flat $5 no matter what it is or something. But let's go ahead and let's start with G on your a little brief perspective on tipping, and I guess like how much, or what's the perspective or thought about like the 20% baseline or as a standard.
To me, I don't think there should be any type of baseline. I think it's just about performance, and like if you're providing a good service, it's up to the person at the end of the day to tip. And if you did perform and give a good service and they didn't tip, well, they're a shitty person. But I just think there isn't like any said rule, or there shouldn't be any said rule of like how much you should tip, because you think about it, like everyone's in different situations. Like maybe you want to tip, but like well, maybe in the first place you shouldn't be going out, right? But maybe it was like a special dinner and you really wanted to celebrate like for your kid, but you barely have the money to even pay for dinner. Like at that point, like, and it's hard. Like people don't want to explain that story to a waiter or waitress. But what I think is like you tip what you feel like. And for me, like the rule of thumb is like my go-to is like I usually double the tax and pay tip. Especially like if it's good service, I'll just tip whatever I feel like I want to tip them. Especially like I'm a big believer in trying to tip cash if I can. If I have the cash on me, I'll always try and tip cash, because otherwise they get taxed on it. I also don't like the idea. I mean, this could just be me too, but I don't like the idea of necessarily sharing tips, because it doesn't matter where you work. Everyone has that one slacker that just doesn't do like as much as everyone else. They're just not a team player, and for that person to get the same share, like it just doesn't make sense, because it's like he could have had a shitty service, or she could have had a shitty service and like not gave a fuck, but they know at the end of the day like their team's strong and they're going to get tips either way, so they just don't care. So that to me like is wrong. So I believe like if you work hard and you serve like people and you get tips, like you earn that yourself, and you deserve those tips. So yeah, that's my belief. I think everyone deserves tips for any type of service. Like if you're being a waiter, or like I've had people at bakeries that I've tipped because like they did excellent service. Like people who go the extra mile, in my opinion, are like the people who deserve tips. Like when that's not your goal at the end of the day, is to work for tips, right? Your goal is to provide a good service, and like you're there to serve. Like that's your position, right? So people who like I can never understand. It's hard for me to understand people who are in a servicing job, and like they have bad attitudes. Like I get if you're having a shitty day, that's fine, but you gotta remember, like, you're there to do a job. Turn it off and on, man. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to come into a restaurant and like just have a shitty server and like someone who just has a negative attitude and like doesn't give you any respect or care about your experience at that restaurant. Like, quit that job then. You know, it's like it doesn't make any sense to me. Or it's up to the manager to do their job and let go of that person. Like, end their misery. Don't bring that misery on the customers. You know. So that's my thought there.
Go work at Dick's. Like,
seriously, yeah. So yeah, I'm just big on that. Like, I was always big on tipping people. It doesn't matter if you are in like the food industry or not. Like, I've tipped a bum like $10 because he did a rap freestyle in downtown LA, and he was like using his chest for beats, and it was actually really good. None of my other buddies cared. Like, none of them tipped him, but I did, because like at least he did something creative and he put in effort, you know. And I was like, if you're going to do that, like, at least you're working for something, right? Like, and you asked me for $1, like, I'm going to give you $10 because that was actually good and entertaining. And then after that, I had a good talk with him. So yeah, I feel like that is, to each is your own. But if people are giving you a good service, try and tip them. You know, like, the people at the restaurants, they're not there to pay their employees well, you know. And so it takes a lot for like people who work in the service industry to like put on a fake face and like be happy all the time. Like, it's a lot of fucking work for what they get paid. So respect them, man.
Nightmare, how about you? What you got on this?
yeah, I definitely mirror a lot of that. Like, generally, I go in with the idea that I'm gonna tip 20 to 25% and let their service kind of dictate where I land on my tip scale. I definitely like, if you're really going above and beyond, and drinks always full. How are you guys doing? Do you need anything? Just people that make you feel like that's part of the experience. Like you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like, you're here, to relax. You're here to have a good meal, or this is an experience, and we want you to have the best experience possible. That's when you get, that's when I'm giving 25-30%. Like, I've matched a bill a couple times, like, where the service was just so crazy. And sometimes like especially if I order something small, like, sometimes I feel bad. Like, if I go to I like to go to Market Broiler sometimes, and I'll just get a cup of clam chowder, and it's like $6. I'll match that because I'm taking a table. I think that's a personal tip philosophy of mine. If I order something small, I'll match the bill, because I'm taking their table, especially if I don't get a drink. Like, definitely. When it comes to delivery, I try and tip as much as I can at the time, because delivery costs are kind of expensive. So I'll give as much as I can. Throw them a few bucks.
That one's tough too, because I feel like you can't really like, my thing would be evaluating them. Like, did you get the extra sauces I asked for? Are there at least utensils in here?
That's the one that's hard with, like, DoorDash, is it asks for the tip prior to your it getting to you. I should carry cash more often, just for this kind of thing.
There is one that doesn't make you tip though, right? Like,
Postmates they don't make you tip. Like, DoorDash, you can put $0. But yeah. And again, flip side of the coin, I've left 5% tip before, and it was well earned. Like, it was truly, like, it was a bad experience. It was, I was looking around, like, I was sitting with my drink empty for a long time, and then you feel bad, and that guilt where you're like, I don't want to bother them, but like, and then it just makes the experience really bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm a high tipper, and if I don't think that the job was done, then I'll be a low tipper.
You ever been to the ranch?
Ever been what?
To the ranch?
What's that?
Oh, it's my favorite steak restaurant.
Yeah,
no, I have
pretty
not.
good.
The service, phenomenal.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
It's a pricey one.
Hey.
Every time I've gone, I don't know
Treat
about
yourself.
beef, but every time I've gone, amazing service.
Yeah.
And you know what made me really proud is we took my dad there for Father's Day, and then and it was like the first time my sister, my dad, my brother all ate there. best experience ever for them. And that's what I
Nice.
love. It's like when you can sell something to your family and then it lives up or exceeds those
Oh,
expectations.
you feel like such a boss.
Well, yeah, and it's
Mhm.
credit to the restaurant, it's credit to the
Yep.
employees there. So yeah, the ranch, man, in
They,
the orange.
To add to like what he's talking about is they actually grow their own meat for the most part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they have their own farm.
Oh, that.
It's so like it's like some of the best. It's no. If I was gonna compare the ranch, if I was gonna compare anything in California that was close to the level of like meat you're getting in Texas, it's
Mhm.
ranch
Okay.
because you're getting quality steak that it's just like again they're growing the cattle and they're growing all that. So they'll even when they but
So much.
what's cool about them is that even if they do go outside of their they know exactly they'll tell you where they bought the farm from.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
nice.
what's
Yeah, it's trippy.
pretty
It's
nuts.
like
They
they'll
have their
look
own
at
little
the
third-party
exact,
vendors or something.
No, it's like they'll
Yeah.
tell you the exact. It's not even like you can't even like look up this farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they tell you. So it's kind of really cool
It's like
how.
Dave Robinson's cow.
But the experience alone is like it's one of those places where you're putting a hefty bill down, you're getting good sides, and then you're also getting like they age their wines and their beers.
Yeah, their drinks are really good
Yeah,
too.
it's
I
like
never drink usually,
everything's amazing
but
there.
yeah, I get a drink there too.
Yeah, it's like one of those like you're celebrating. Like
I'm not a
Mike,
dessert person either,
Mhm.
and their desserts are fire.
Mike Trout. Every time he's won the MVP. He's gone there. That's
Oh
his
my
like,
god!
Yeah,
I
that's
did
like-
not know that.
Yeah, that's like his thing. They give him like a free meal. They always offer him a free meal when.
That's
when he
how
goes
good
there.
it is.
So,
Yeah.
All right, can we
Trout.
cut the stream? Can we go? No.
Yeah.
So
But yeah,
fun.
so that I'm stuck. Yeah, that's
a great point,
that's
though.
my tip philosophy, I guess. Definitely
Okay.
the matching the bill when you're not really spending any money or buying anything big.
Mhm.
I feel like that is I think that's my philosophy.
Mhm. Beef.
Yeah.
Let's hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna go by scenario. Scenario one is you're at like a pizza place and you're picking
Mhm.
up the food,
Mhm.
and then there's a tip thing on the bottom. I still tip a couple of bucks on that one, so it depends on like how much I order. But I don't think I do a percentage, but I try to do some because even packaging. A lot of people like when I had I worked as back of the house first. I'm sorry, I worked as for front of the house. I mean, as a back server, where you would actually
Mhm.
like do the to-go stuff.
Mhm.
And I actually think doing the to-go stuff is a lot more work than doing. And this is me. This is my personal experience. And I don't know about how Coach feels
No,
about
you're
this.
probably right.
Yeah, because it takes a lot. Like a lot of times it's just you, and then sometimes it's hell, and then it can be a lot of work.
Because you're getting
like,
more phone orders, you're
Mhm.
getting walk-ins.
Yeah, and you're
Especially during
literally-
COVID time.
Yeah. Oh, I remember at when we worked at a restaurant, it was horrible. So I'll try to. I kind of I judge the situation. So like if I'm there and it's like I could tell the girl's getting, like it's a girl or guy that is the front and they don't really do any of the work and it's mostly these chefs in the back. Then I'm like nah. But then if I could tell, like oh they, it's really clean. It's like what you said. They give all the stuff. Then I'll
Yeah.
kind of add on to that. So I tip sometimes. Most of the time I tip though because I think I almost feel guilty if I don't.
Right? Especially
Yeah.
when that jar's out.
Yeah, it's like no matter what,
Mhm.
like if I feel like even when I put $1, I feel like a dick. So I just
Yeah, I'll try
sometimes
and
I
take
do
out like a
that.
buck or two, and then like even if I'm just picking up, if they're like really nice, I have a quick conversation with them,
Mhm.
or it's like a small mom and pop shop, give them some money.
Yeah,
right?
because it just feels like so wrong if, like, unless you're really rude to me, that's the only way I would probably
Yeah.
be like, and even then I'd probably still put like a buck in there, you know?
You know, it's
Mhm.
funny you brought that up because I feel like that's where Starbucks went wrong with their tips, because I don't know if it's every Starbucks, but they don't really have a tip jar anymore at the
No.
front.
You don't.
They ask you for the tip in your app, like when you leave. If you have the Starbucks
Yeah.
app,
They do.
it'll ask
Yeah,
you,
they
so you
do
don't
that,
feel
yeah.
guilty. You're just like, well, I'm gone.
Yeah, it's
See ya.
fine.
They don't
you
have to
definitely
see
don't
me.
the guilt.
Brutal.
Yeah, you don't have that guilt. And honestly, it's like for me
You
at
need the
Starbucks,
guilt.
it's like it's hard to like gauge like a service at Starbucks because I feel like they're all kind of the same. It's just like it's not great. It's not bad. It's just like eh.
Yeah, they work like a machine.
George
though.
Yeah,
Costanza.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I get it from.
Yeah, it's like being honestly like a McDonald's to me, but like you're more customized.
Yeah.
But like they move like a McDonald's. There's like a machine. They have a system because you could want to
Yeah.
watch it when
Mhm.
they're doing it, and it's kind of interesting because there's a movie called Reservoir
I was,
Dogs.
God, you,
That's
beat me, you
about-
fucking beat me to
Yeah,
it.
that was about. Oh, so you know it. So there's a whole scene where he talks about why you don't feel guilty at tipping at McDonald's. Not tipping at McDonald's,
Mhm.
but then you feel the compelled reason to tip like at a diner. and then they even one of the responses, which I think is an excellent response, is I think tipping also is about area, because like we went to England, like I had mentioned, and they kind of force gratuity on there. So some places will do that here. They
Yeah.
force the gratuity. So then I'm just like, if it wasn't, unless it was great service, then I'll add some dollars onto it. But some places like in England, it's like no, you don't tip. It's like a, but I still did it anyways because I said like in my mind I'm like I'm rewarding you for your hard work, and I
Yeah.
don't care what your society says about that. It's like
They
I
like
want.
ban you from the restaurant.
Well, I'm just like I'm giving. It's not even gifting. It's like I think you deserve this. So
Yeah.
like you could tell
And
me
it's
like
your money,
well,
so
it's
why
like-
do they care?
well, it's like those unwritten rules too are stupid to me. Like I've read that like for example Japan and like a lot of Asian cultures believe like you're supposed to give that kind of service. But even then, even if you are giving that kind of service, and you have a slack off like you were talking about, that's why you don't tip share. That's why you should reward those
Yeah.
people. It's just saying like even if they don't
Keep
think
up the
it
good
is
Because
work.
you
He's
because you could
acknowledging
not
people.
you could not do that.
yeah, because we
Mhm.
could have gotten someone
Right.
that was bad in
Yeah.
that, and so
Yeah.
and they that so yeah, that's like a big thing for me. But one of the well, I lost my train of thought. I was talking about oh man, because I went off on so many tangents. What were we talking about? We were talking
tipping.
about you and I were talking about. No, you and I had a connection on. Oh no.
Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, so they respond back to Steve Buscemi, who talks about like why it isn't tip, but a lot of areas they don't. A lot of areas, and I would say the United States, their hourly is so shitty that the way the tax system's structured is actually benefits them to get tips. They know
Oh yeah.
that industry
absolutely.
works off of tips, so
Mhm.
it's like it. I think it's kind of like and you also when you actually go out to like a diner in Iowa, for example, you're going to pay a lot less than you'd pay in like California, right? California tries to, so it's I don't know. It's just to me, it's like a lot there. California also forces like a lot of insurance on that employer like these small businesses or even these restaurants have to pay for insurance now.
Yeah.
Whereas like some states, it's like those tips are what are paying for insurance. So it's like to me, it's like that's why you should always just tip. Like to me, I had a lot of bad serving experiences. Not that I'm sorry, I had a lot of situations where I couldn't give the greatest service, and to me, I'd never even looked at it as like when I would get a bad tip, I'd be like whatever.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. Like I would get when I felt like I didn't offer the best service, I would get some of the best tips I ever got.
Hmm.
And then there would be times where like I felt like this is the gold standard, and like next like I was this close to being like where the bet for me to make it a better service, I would have to literally like wipe their ass for them.
Chewed their food.
Yeah, or like lick their ass
Which-
and clean their butt after they're done, and like clean up their faces and stuff. And it's like that's like the next thing I could do. So and I would get like $1, and so it's just like I think when I tell people like especially servers like especially are newer like just don't get mad about it because just let it even out. But coach
Yeah.
knows how much I would throw tantrums. Like in the back, I would go and I'd just be
Yeah.
like yelling. I'd be screaming about it because it really upset me because I was like, I believe in that. Like you should reward people for no different than what you said. And when you felt like
That's how the rich stay rich, man.
some of these people like were like on a dog leg. Like I feel like you look at them and you'd be like, they weren't doing that well in life. They're just kind of cheap asses and like you'd have a lot of honestly to be real with you if it was like a kid. It was like high school kids. And there was this one time, and I'll make this quick because I want to give back to coach. But there's a high school that coach actually went to this high school, so it's a private school, and a combination of private school and then another. It's an area in Villa Park in Orange County, and they it was their like it was two teams like these two teams, but they're all friends because those are both within the same area of Orange, and I was serving this huge table, and they all paid. They all split the bill, which oh my god, it was like 17 people, and they each paid with $20 for like.
Oh.
And I sat there and I was like, and it was like in the middle of like a dinner rush, and most servers don't have that kind of change on them. Like even if you did have a lot of change, you don't have that kind of change. So like I go to the bar and I'm like, and then you have to change out like all of your. It's such a process the way they do it, and I remember just like. And in my mind, I'm watching myself get double sat because we had shitty hosts, and For sure, Megan, I'm not gonna say her last name, was one of the worst hosts ever, and she doesn't. She's
Fuck
like
you,
horrible
Megan.
host. There's two Megans actually, and they were both horrible, didn't care,
I
and
know.
like nonchalant, just shitty. But I'm never gonna forget them, both of them.
Megan.
But they would like, I would watch them, and they were like, like, oh, here's another one, and then and I'm getting double sat, and double sat means like you have to there's a
Man, you could probably relate to waiting so much.
Oh
It's
yeah,
the
but
best
I mean, yeah,
movie,
because I'd sit
Dude.
there and I was like, and I'm like, oh my god, and like,
Are you mad
and
at
like,
me?
and that's not even counting the rest of the station that I have
Oh
to
my
serve
God.
and like get their drinks and get their food and
Yeah.
check on their food. The food's behind. It's right for it, and that's why like that kind of stress like teaches you to grind. But I could only bring back in waves because the bar also had to loan out the money. So, or like switch it out, right? Our bartender was packed, busy, right? So she's like, "Ah," like this, and like she's like, no, I need a second, and I'm like, but, and like I had like only like 4 done, and I'm like, and I was bringing it in shifts, and they were laughing, and I looked at the kids, and I knelt down, and I was like, never fucking do this again, ever, and they all stopped like, all of them stopped like laughing. And I was like drenched in, like I was pouring sweat, like I had run like a marathon because I was stressed, and I was like, this is horrible, and I want you guys to know how horrible this was. Combined it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Just put it together. That would have been easier, but you screwed me here. And I knew I wasn't gonna get $1, dude. That was some of the best tips I ever got in my life from those kids because I think I made them feel so guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta
that
do
like,
what you
and
gotta do.
I wasn't intending to do it to get. I was so upset with the situation, but I brought that up because it just goes to show you, like, even with those kids, I assumed I was gonna get a horrible tip, and it's still, you just don't know who you're getting,
But you impressed upon them the gravity of what they put you through. Like,
Yeah, I think like at the end of the day though, like the way I look at it is I'm a server, and that's part of being a server is like that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, but there's got to be a ceiling to the amount of work one man can do.
I almost like I don't
Mhm.
blame. I agree with you on this, but I also blame the restaurant more for us not having. Because if
That's
you were to
my
you,
next
you
thing,
go to
yeah.
like a lot of nice restaurants, they give them like a huge loan. It's called a loan out, where they'll give you like change like up to $100 to $200 in change.
Uh-huh.
You return it at the end of the night. So that's kind of how it works.
Mhm.
Like nice restaurants, right?
smart.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? You're not like
Wait.
you're
Okay.
also you also have coin change too, right?
Smart.
So, but like ours didn't do that. You had to, and coach knows this. Like you had to go and like, if you didn't bring your own money, you didn't.
Yeah.
Like that's how you were doing it. And so yeah, it was rough, man. I wish like it's just one of those experiences that where it wasn't if that had happened like Sunday morning, even Sunday morning says, but let's say like a Monday night where it's just chill. It wouldn't have been a big deal, but like just it just goes to show you though that like also bringing it back to you to like you're not getting the best service. You're like where is this guy? Like in that moment, if you were
Yeah.
on table 17 and I was like helping 13, and you're sitting there and you're like, and hopefully coach remembers those numbers. You're like sitting. They probably changed when you
I
were
do.
there, but like the person on 17 is like, where are you? Where are you? And then you're like, oh, and you're like trying to talk to
Wilson.
the double, like you're trying to talk to these people that have been double sacked because they're like, oh, it's been 15 minutes and we don't have an order ticket. I want my Mai Tai. I want my Mai Tai. And you're just like, and then you're like, you're drenched in sweat, your
Yeah.
armpits smell, you got swamp ass, and you're like, you're just running
I
around
could
and then
never
like,
work in the restaurant.
Yeah.
oh, dude, it's
Again,
like,
I'm gonna say.
Hey, to be fair, that could
you
have
have to
been any
know-
time during
yeah.
the shift for you. Okay?
yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. 5 minutes. Yeah.
Spencer, or
I was
Coach,
literally walking into work for you.
Coach is in the Matrix.
We
Sorry,
still-
OBS Ninja. OBS Ninja, get your stuff
Yeah.
together.
Well, while he's
But, like-
Yeah.
getting
But
out
like
the
you
pixel.
get, again, like to defend myself for like not getting your drink refilled. Like you as a customer have to like take into account,
It's a
the-
Friday.
Yeah. Well, like, what's going on in the restaurant? Like, if it's super packed
Yeah.
and busy, and you see your waiter running.
Woo!
Yeah, just like yeah.
That's honestly
Like
how I
you gotta
feel
be
sometimes.
you gotta be
Like,
patient.
I was like a machine, and then someone would try to touch me, and I'm like, get out of my way, like.
Coach,
like,
try
I
and-
had
The
a
worst
goal.
thing is when you see them talking, like where the food's being like, from the cooks is being sent. Like the worst thing is like you just see them mingling with like their
Oh,
teammates,
yeah.
and like
You
your
never
drink
saw me
has
do
been
that.
There you go.
sitting there. Like I'll purposely put the drink on the edge of the table so like it's easy for them to see. Like that's the way I feel like a waiter or waitress like should work. Like when you're doing your rounds around your table, like you should be scoping that out, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think the other thing too, like tips go a long way, right? But I'm a big reviewer, like especially if you do good service. Like I'm going to try and
Yeah,
like
a
I'll
little bit.
I'll fill out a survey at that point, or I'll I'll write you a Yelp review.
Yeah.
So at 24 Hour Fitness, I did that, and it was the funniest thing because it was like a bunch of coworkers around her, the girl who helped me, and she helped me over phone. Then she helped me when I went to the gym and like renewed the memberships where I was having problems, and I was like, hey, is your manager here? I'd love to give you like a good a good survey and just say like how great the experience was for me, considering like how shitty your guys' online and phone service is. And she's like, oh, this is my manager right here. I swear, this guy acted so immature. I had no idea he was the manager.
Oh, that's bad.
And so I was like, oh, okay. I just walked out. I was like, I'll leave you a Yelp review. Because I knew it was pointless. Like, he even acted like, who cares about, like, if she gave a good service? Like, I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm leaving. So I gave her a good review on Yelp and gave her 5 stars and addressed her name.
Man, it frustrates me when I'm at 24 sometimes because, like, I'll be at the gym and I'm like, man, if you guys are just standing there and talking, you could be cleaning.
Exactly what
you could be cleaning
doing.
the gym. You could be doing, like, you could be wiping down stuff, right? Or like,
especially nowadays.
Or walking through. Like, I was a type that, like, when I was at Ralph's or when I was at Angel Stadium or like if I saw trash on the ground, especially at Angel Stadium, like Angel Stadium could be like dumpy at times. And so I was like,
not as bad as the Dodgers.
If you're walking around, you're like, oh, there's a ton of shit on the ground. Like, I would grab it and throw it away. Like, people would just dump it, and then like, I knew there were at Angel Stadium, like there was, and same with Ralph's, like you'd have kind of janitors. But I was like, man, like if anybody sees that, it looks like crap. And then so that's how I feel about 24. Like anywhere you work, you should take pride in the spot you're working at. You know?
Yeah. It's so funny you said that because there was 3 employees like dressed in the 24, right? But then there was 2 guys like standing on the side talking to that manager guy. Guess what? Those were employees that were working out like after their shifts.
Yeah, it's like, no, it bugs me because every time I'm at 24, it's that way. And some of them are nice. Like some of them are meant to like work the front desk and manage the front. So it's like they're
but
also. But
as a manager, like, what are you doing when you're talking to the employees who are off their shift, like not even in 24 clothing, you know? Like, what are you doing as a manager?
Even with the pandemic recently, like how they were closed down, like I would almost be like.
This gym was packed too, by the way, inside.
That's kind of the thing too, is like with some of those big corporations, even if you did like work really hard, they kind of make it where let's say you had this like great manager where he cleaned or he did things that like he took that extra effort. Sometimes big corporations
doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it's like it's like that's why I like those small company vibes, you know.
Yeah, it was funny too because that girl's like, you know, she appreciated the fact that like I was nice about it. She said because most of the customers were coming in screaming at her. And she's like, they think it's our fault, but like it comes down to corporate.
Just the middleman.
Yeah, they're just a messenger. Yeah. I was like, I get where you're coming from.
That's how like Spectrum, like when you like call Spectrum or like I'm just use Spectrum. I use Spectrum. We don't even have it, but you call one of those like services and you're talking to someone that's like, you know, they have nothing to do with, like when you're talking to them, you know that this person has nothing to do with why this went wrong.
Yeah.
It's somebody else that effed it up and you'll never get to them.
Yeah.
But that's why it's like, to me, like sometimes you're frustrated, but like I'm like, why even be mad at those people? Like I think they purposely set it up that way because then you'll never, do you know what I mean? Like, and then that the people are shielded by this layer of people that'll take the verbal abuse, you know?
Yeah.
It's
and then they don't get tipped.
Fair. Yeah, neither of them get tipped, yeah.
All right, sounds like it's your turn, Coach.
So I think.
Let's finish.
I think I have a unique perspective. Well, not unique. I have a good perspective, being that I worked in the restaurant as well, and I worked with beef for a while. So a couple of my I guess like observations or things that I know from beef is I think we talked about getting the drinks refilled. I always loved when beef would get a table where they'd order a drink and then he'd go get like their Coke or whatever. And as soon as he set it down and he greeted another table, that guy or woman would like want a refill.
Oh, that was
because that just like initiated like pissed off beef.
Oh,
and then like he'd get it and then he'd be like, there'd be times where he'd be back and be like, this motherfucker.
Wait, hold on.
And then he would just like,
oh man,
time out.
Now we got a whole new conversation.
Time out.
Now
Was it
that
like
was me.
they would get their drink and they would like gulp it down?
Yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
where's my thing?
Oh,
In,
yeah.
like 30 seconds, or were they like were they taking us like 2 sips of it and be like, hey, come on, fill this back up?
No, it was a gulp.
They
It was
just-
no,
like
they would
Like, finish your drink.
gulp it.
Wow.
That would be
Yeah.
me. So I have
And so
something in
I
defense
love
to
to go
that,
see
though.
beef get too.
I have something in defense to
Oh,
that.
beef's gonna fight you.
So we had a hop hut that we'd always go to after hockey games. Like it was like our go-to spot. I think it was in
It's on
Huntington
beach.
Beach.
Was it on beach?
It was on beach, yeah.
Yeah.
That hop hut on the right side as you're going northbound.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
No, not that one.
such a good hop hut. Like I don't know. I just love their food. But anyways, I'd always get a raspberry iced tea after the hockey game. And dude, it's after a hockey game, right? And they gave you like beer mugs. It was pretty big at hop
Yeah,
hut.
that's what I would do.
I would pound it. I would probably be done with 3 of them within like the first 10 minutes of being there.
So that's what I
So-
started doing. I would
Yeah.
grab like 3 or 4 mugs, and I'd
Yeah.
fill them up at once. If the person
I love
redid it.
waiters and waitresses like that.
because
When you know, like, I'm thirsty, or
Yeah.
like at Korean barbecues, right? They
Yeah.
try and just refill 1 cup for you, and it's like, dude, I need more than that. And then they bring you the pitcher or the container with like the ice and water in it.
Getting a pitcher of water.
The worst though, like the reason why there was one guy though, it's particular, and then I'll let you give it back to you, Coach, real
we'll
quick,
get back to
because
that.
this is really why this is important. Because it started with this El Medina coach, and I hope if you ever watches this YouTube video or this stream right now, guy's a total fucking prick. Like, you're a fucking prick. As a girls softball coach, like, and it was funny because we'd work with El Medina kids, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, I love this guy. He was a complete dick. He's a dickwad of a person, and you're a horrible person." And he would like come in and like just come in at like almost 9:00, and then he would like. He always wanted Diet Coke, and he had a particular way he wanted it. And then like one time I brought these like giant. So we at Islands you can actually get these like the beer mugs that are like gigantic. So I would pour it in that. And one time he's like, "No, I don't want these. I want the smaller one." And I'm like, "I'm closing right now." And I was like, and in my mind I was like, you tip like shit too, by the way. You're a horrible tipper. We watched the other
man.
segment. Oh, we're on the same segment. Yeah,
same
you
segment.
should be listening to this more than anyone. He's a horrible tipper. Like, El Medina hired a horrible coach of a person because if he tips like that, he's got to be horrible to his kids too. Like I cannot. So you coach open that up for me because like, but that guy, that's where that came from, coach. That was like that one guy, like one of my first times.
I remember this.
Serving was like that. And then he tipped me $1, and I served him so well, and I talked to him, and I was just like, and he'd come in at 9:00 when we closed every Friday when I was closing, and I was like, and he's just like, he's like beer belly like coming in, and he's just like, and he was like,
man.
"I want 2 Diet Cokes," and it's like we could throw, and it was like. And I remember just sitting
the
there and
hose.
be like, but what bugged me the most about him was the whole thing where I brought him 2 giant mugs of those, thinking this will buy me an extra 5 minutes because this guy's still gonna suck this thing down. And like there was this one time where I was actually leaving to go to the company I met G at, and I purposely grabbed 5 and I set it on there. And he's like, "I don't want all these at once, like they're gonna get warm." And I'm like, I told him I was like, "I don't care." And I just like walked away. And
probably
I was
felt
like,
close.
yeah, it did feel good. And I
Coach-
honestly wish I could have told you to go fuck yourself too. On top of that, because you're a horrible person, whoever you are.
Coach, you opened up a
I opened up a
can
can of worms.
of
but that's
can
okay.
of worms.
Sorry, go
Because
ahead, Coach.
honestly,
How do you feel about tipping?
there's so many good. There was so many. There were so many good times though with beef. Like honestly, I hated. Okay, sorry, I didn't hate it. I tried not to laugh when he was like in a rage because I'm like I don't want this guy to not want to be my friend.
You don't want
But,
you don't want to redirect the anger back onto you.
Get out of his way.
Yeah, but it's like, but sometimes it was
There.
just hilarious because it's like he seemed to get some of the worst ones, and I'd be like, yeah, I've got like the Golden Girls over here on 72, and they're all trying to give me their phone number.
Oh man.
But I think so. I think in like
I have like that.
in the service
remember like
industry.
I'm sorry. I'm being rude. I was gonna
No,
talk
yeah.
about dodgeball. Never mind.
Oh fuck.
I was talking about dodgeball when I'd get like one of the. Remember when the Justin Long's washing the cars, and he's like,
Yes.
Get in
and
there.
he's like,
Nice
get
and
in there,
deep
nice,
that.
and he's like putting his finger in his belly button. That's like the type of people
Yeah.
I get.
It's got the dog barking at him.
Yeah. Get in there,
Get in there, nice and deep, lax.
Yeah.
Well, he shouldn't have been down on
Yeah.
all four.
Oh,
in
he
the
was
first
on all
place,
yeah.
so he
in
was kind of
shorts.
asking for that one.
In
And then he did
Daisy
like
Du-
the turnaround.
He was in Daisy Dukes. Like,
Yeah, seriously, you're kind of asking for it
Right,
at that point.
Coach, how do you feel about tipping?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So,
We'll get there.
So there was this one.
We get there when we get
so
there.
Every time you ask me, I'm just be like, so there's this one time with Beef.
Yeah.
Tell no story. Like,
And it's like
Just a different story. every
yeah,
time.
it's like me just going
Beef-
mini road rage or me.
Beef is just gonna be red the entire night because
like
he's like really
PTSD.
because
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my god, my head
Fucking,
hurts from laughing.
I think like obviously like I spent a good chunk of time like in the service industry and in the restaurant setting as a server, back or not back of house but like takeout and stuff. So you see different sides of it, and definitely having served in the restaurant during the COVID stuff where we went back and forth from not having like restaurants. I started right before COVID started, and then I didn't work because we were takeout only. And then I came back Memorial Day last year when we started restaurants opened up again. And then California's terrible governor made the decision to do outside only in the middle of summer, and then it was just so much back and forth. There's like different rules every week, every couple of days it changed sometimes. So like I lived through all that stuff, so I saw the different things. I saw like the big rise of like Uber Eats, DoorDash, and here all the other food delivery stuff that they have, and dealing with those people, and then on top of that, like dealing with like new deals and new ways that they're trying to like strum up business for like takeout stuff, like offering alcohol to go, but like we had to make it a certain way or package it a certain way in order to make it like legal. Like we can't serve beer and open it. Like I had people off like be like, well, can you open my beer for me? I'm like, you're leaving. Like that's a fucking open container. Like that's against the law.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then they'd be pissed that I wouldn't like open their beer for them. And I'm like, you can't go to any other bar before COVID and get a fucking beer and open it in your car and like drive.
Mhm.
Why? It doesn't change because we're offering the service. But I think that it was important, and it was one of those things where, I mean, I think tipping is acceptable and appropriate. I know that like Europe has a different idea about that, but I try to like make people enjoy their time. They come out and they come to get food at a certain place. They come for an atmosphere, and they come to where like they don't have to worry about their stuff. So like that's my job, is to like take care of them and get all their stuff for them and make sure that they're taken care of and they're having a great time. So that way they can focus on having conversations with their family, friends, loved ones. They can have business meetings, whatever. Like I've had many people come and be like, oh, we're having like a business meeting for like a real estate something or this and that. And, they're having their meeting there. So it's like, I have to like, I'm basically having to like look at their table and be like, hey, what do they need without me interrupting their meeting and like asking them. So like, I feel like there's like that aspect of like the service that people, get in certain settings. And I feel like that's something that's like, you kind of go a little bit above and beyond some of the stuff rather than just bringing their fries and their soda out, because you're anticipating or like getting stuff taken care of them past like just making sure they have their food orders correct. And I think people definitely appreciate that. Now the restaurant obviously I worked with Beef at Islands, and I worked at multiple locations. The second location I've worked at is in a little bit better off area than the first one. But with that comes also bigger attitudes with some people because of their financial status. So I've definitely seen it all. I don't think that there needs to be a baseline number. I do think that people who come in, I don't know, I've kind of gone back and forth with this in life, because like our restaurant obviously isn't all that expensive, but if I went to a steakhouse and if I ordered something that just costs more, but the service is still the same as like I go to an Islands where I'm getting burgers and fries, like, do I really like, I don't know. It's like one of those things like you tip on the bill, but it's like, do I really tip 20% on $150 because I got like an expensive item, but the service is like comparable to the burger place where someone was a better server on food that cost $15 per person rather than like $65 per person? It's like, I don't know, that one I can't really always get my head around, because it's like I've definitely been to a steakhouse before where it was not great service, but it's like, okay, like 15% on a $130 bill is more money than me tipping 25% on like a $30 bill at like an Islands or Chili's, where like I could have probably one of the best service I've ever had in my life, or like I have a great time because that person converses and like, I mean,
Chili's.
I'm sure people, yeah, God, I mean, not that I go to Chili's often, but I like at Texas Roadhouse, we were talking about that. Like the last time I was there, we had a server that was fantastic. Like literally it was like walking by and didn't always say anything, but just kind of was able to observe like where we were at in the meal to like bring us certain things and anticipated things. And it was like that nonverbal communication. So like I think that stuff is key, and I
And
think
that's
that's
so
warranted for a
clutch
good
for a
tip.
date too. It's so clutch
Yeah.
for a date.
Yeah. So it's I think that tipping, I mean, I think the tipping is appropriate. I think people should tip what they feel comfortable with. I hate the notion of just copying the tax or like automatic um like automatic numbers, like no matter what,
Mm-hmm.
because I think that really it's incentivization for people to work and get good service. But
So there's sometimes where like my wife doesn't allow me to go into certain areas, like if we're just picking up, because she knows I'll just
mhm,
tip, but she has like the balls, I should say, like to not tip, like with no shame, and
mhm,
I can't, I give in, like especially if I like the person, which usually happens quite often because I just start up stupid conversations.
mhm,
Yeah, I'll tip. Like just recently, I went to a place called Brewhog in it's in Anaheim, and it's a good barbecue spot. And I actually got to meet the owner for the first time, and he's struggling because like the price for tri-tip per pound went up a lot, and so he's
mhm,
trying out new things. And he gave me like a test run on the food and like the quantity portions and stuff, and asked me like what I thought, and I gave him like full input. But it was cool because like he made it experience for me, like a new experience, even though I'm like a regular that goes there.
mhm,
Like I got to meet like his side, like hear his story, and and just like like just speaking to owner and like understanding his passion for like doing barbecue and stuff, like it was cool. And like I ended up giving him a few bucks too in his tip jar. And I even had like the digital thing where it offered you to like tip on there. I normally don't like tipping on like those screens. I like tipping in cash, especially if they have the jar, because in my eyes it's like if I'm tipping in your jar, people see like you should tip this place, like it's a good place. That's how
mhm,
it was for me at Shaved Ice too. It's like I worked for the tips. I definitely worked. Like my brother and I would do shaved ice, for people coming in, and it was during the summer. So like that was our summer job as kids. We needed tips because we weren't getting paid much,
mhm.
So,
The
yeah.
George,
There was.
the George
Oh, sorry.
Costanza.
Yeah, damn you.
Brother.
Damn you. You don't even watch Seinfeld. That's
I know.
that's the worst part about it.
Well, because you brought it up to me like 3 times,
Yeah.
so I know
There you
about
go.
it.
So, have you seen it? Have you actually seen that part?
I think I have. Like it's in the
Damn,
back
I
of my
wish.
memory.
Yeah, so like there's a
It's so
whole
good.
scene. Have you seen it, Coach? You seen this?
Yeah,
This
I love that scene.
Yeah, so like he tips. He's at a pizza place, and he's there, and it has a tip jar, so it's like right here, right?
Uh-huh.
And he gets like a slice of pizza because
Yeah.
it's New York, right? And so the guy's like, if you could think of the most Italian
Yeah.
like New Yorker,
Just Mario.
that
kinda.
yeah, just Mario is like in the back, and he's like dirty and and it's like but a buff guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like he puts like he didn't tip, the guy missed his tip before, and he kind of like gave him a look
Oh
before.
my god.
So he comes back in, and so the guy like missed the tip, right? And he missed it the first
Mhm.
time, and he's like, the guy George gets the pizza, and the guy's like gives him a look like, you didn't tip me, like you're an ass kind of thing.
Oh my gosh.
And so
That's the worst.
George feels like, what the heck, and he leaves, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back. So he goes back, and he puts it in again, and then the guy like so is like for some reason gets like
Oh my
distracted,
God.
and he looks.
That is the
and
worst.
So he leaves the money in it, but then he's like, oh, the guy like the pizza guy was like still looking away, and so George
went
puts his
back.
hands back in, and he wanted to like give the impression that he's dropping the money in, but it looked like he was stealing the money, and the guy's like, what are you
Mhm.
doing? And he like he gets pissed, and he like
Oh
takes
my
the
God,
pizza away from him,
backfired.
and yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think of that now, but like it's so true. Do you tip because you're one? That's a big thing. Is like,
I want them to see that
Yeah.
I'm tipping them.
yeah, but it's like, but that kind of goes into is like, are you tipping because of a social pressure? And again, it kind of applies back to that whole Reservoir Dogs, like because we go to McDonald's and we never feel compelled to tip because there's no society has said there's no social pressure.
But there's like
Mhm.
a standard of shitty service through and throughout like McDonald's, in my opinion. It's not
Yeah.
like In-N-Out or like, for example, when I went to the
In-N-Out,
taqueria.
does
You don't.
tip?
Yeah, you
In-N-Out
don't tip it
does
in and out.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
that's a great
no.
example.
I've tipped at
I was,
In-N-Out.
I was actually thinking of like what's a great place, and you said it as you were talking. Yeah,
I've
Well,
tipped at
yeah.
In-N-Out
Yeah,
before.
that's-
But I
yeah.
think
Hey, don't shit on the service I gave at McDonald's, okay? I went above and beyond.
Yeah.
They got it there. They got it their
Nightmare
way.
fuel.
But you know what? I think the other
They
thing
been
too.
Fueled.
But here's the balance. Here's the balance with In-N-Out, right? They get paid well. So at the end of the day, it's like most people who go to In-N-Out, and I'm guilty of this. Like I've only tipped like once or twice in my life at In-N-Out, but like you expect that service, right? You expect like that standard of like good quality food, order not messed up,
Yeah.
great service,
Yeah, for
hard
sure.
workers. And at the end of the day, it's like a known thing out here that In-N-Out workers get paid very well, and that's why they work their asses off
Mhm.
and provide good service, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of goes hand in
Mhm.
hand. But like the taqueria, like when it got changed with ownership, they got new employees. The lady running it was phenomenal, and I gave credit to the cooks too, and so I tipped their jar. So yeah,
It's just interesting, like how much are we compelled to tip, by like at those jars and those situations? Like it's just it's like there's
even if they
nothing-
don't have a jar, I'll still give them money.
But like you know what I mean? Like how much is it like compelled by like, and it's to each their own. Like how much are you compelled? Like,
Like
if people
social
at home,
pressure
too,
to like
yeah, like you
like
know what
you're
I
a
mean?
shitty
Like,
person, or like, oh, I want to look like I'm a good person.
Yeah,
I'm
like
tipping.
what ways?
Oh.
There's like, and that's kind of what the whole George Costanza thing is, that dilemma of like, at the end of the day, he's still giving, so he's still a decent enough person. But then there's
Yeah.
like, is it like, it's kind of like when you're at church, like church would ask for money, and then like sometimes it's you brought this up to me one time. It's like you feel compelled to put money in there because it's like,
But at that
Yeah.
point, like I'm not getting a service yet. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Or
Well,
are
I mean,
you?
Yeah, but what's that?
Or are you?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's
You
more
know,
of a charitable.
God
like I look at
knows.
it more of like a
Yeah, that's-
charitable.
yeah,
It's
true,
like,
charitable.
but like it's like also like you could say the same thing about like when you're like if you think about like if you were to move onto like a street that's really rich, or like it's a nicer end, nice higher end,
Mhm.
and you're like driving in and you're like you're driving in my Subaru and you're like, oh, and then like I'm looking around and there's like an AMG, Lamborghini, like just Tesla,
Mhm.
bunch of nice Tesla. Then you feel like there's also that social pressure, that same social pressure I feel like is almost the same that you get, like we
Like
feel
a- like
we
a-
just feel this pressure for some reason because society's supposed to be that way,
Yeah.
and you feel like you have to buy a car to fit because you're getting
Maybe,
pressure.
yeah.
Like no one's saying anything to you, but like you
Yeah.
feel that. I've seen that firsthand with people.
But it's like a keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing.
Yeah, that's our high school was that way. Like,
Yeah.
Like I remember I drove into my and I love my dad's Maxima. It was a sweet '80s Maxima, and I remember just driving in on that thing, and like even the car you drove in,
Yeah,
like
it's
we
a
were
Camry,
but it was
2001 Camry.
yeah, and it was older comparatively to the kids that were
Yeah.
in these like nice cars. But
Oh
that
no, it was a
social pressure-
'99 Altima. Sorry.
Yeah, but like that social pressure, I feel like is almost really close to that pressure when you're tipping, where like the person's in front of you, and you're like, I'm gonna say a lot of times like I'm just putting money in there because I don't want to look like a dick. Like I don't know if it's
Mhm.
really like what am I like I think about it, and as I'm walking away I'm like, what am I actually rewarding of you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not rewarding, but like it's to each their own, because some people could actually be like, no, you watched what they did and you appreciated something and you tipped. So but to me there's times where I mean not all it kind of is like a half bag or a mixed bag. I feel like there's times where I just kind of did it because like
Yeah.
You know what's my favorite time to tip, and I'll never forget this. At my dad's neighborhood, well, pretty much where I grew up, right on the corner. It's as soon as you turn into Albertson's parking lot, the kids were selling lemonade, and they were like the sweetest kids. Because I even drove by and I said, "Hey, I'm coming back. When I come back, like I'll be sure to bring back money, and I'll get some lemonade." The kids were like the sweetest, nicest kids, well mannered, and I'll never forget. It was a brother and a little sister, and I went, bought the lemonade for whatever, like a quarter, right? I came back with like a little Ziploc bag full of like gold coins, dollar coins,
nice.
and I gave it to them. It was probably like $20 worth.
Oh,
But like
that's
the
great,
kids
yeah.
were like freaking out,
Yeah,
and because
that's
like
made their day, dude.
well, because my thought was like, dude, they're hustling as little kids, and like I put myself as that in their shoes when I was little.
Mhm.
I was like, dude, how cool would that be if someone came up, And I was
Yeah.
like, and a lot of times when I tip too, it's based on like if I'm having a good month, year, whatever, especially a day. So like if I feel it's a pay it forward effect, right? Like if I got a raise or I had I did a huge deal and there's an opportunity to give to someone else, I'm going to take that opportunity because I'm like, you know what? whatever in the universe was out there that manifested my good luck and my blessings, I need to pay that forward to someone else that's down on their luck.
Yeah.
So that's how I
you're,
feel.
You're such a salesman. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's pretty good that like the four of us obviously have experience. We all have experience in there, and like having like tips be a part of our income. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think we definitely have that like that experience and like that life knowledge that comes from like working in that position that kind of we pull from in order to like know like what's going on, and that like whatever you see on face value for some of the stuff isn't necessarily always what's happening. So we know not to like we see it, and we know like you can't just like judge that like on like whether or not you're tipping. Like we're aware of other stuff that's happening, like when we go out to eat or when we do like certain things where like where you usually traditionally tip for stuff. But I think that much like the travel do's and don'ts, like because we've all traveled like fairly well, some of us more than others. I feel like whenever anybody watches our clips and stuff, um, hopefully it gives some people like a little bit insight into like tipping, not tipping, like using their own discretion, or like how to come up with like their own philosophy, or
Yeah, or put in the
I mean,
comments your own
if they,
philosophy.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like everyone does it a different way, and I mean, obviously, us working there, we've seen that because we see people tip such a wide variety of stuff. But I thought this was definitely like a pretty appropriate one because we've all worked there. But I'm glad we talked about this and the travel stuff. I think it all kind of fits in pretty well with like where we're at right now, especially like with everything opening back up, and it be restaurants are getting back to like full capacity or close to, and it's like your people are going to be going out a lot more. So it's like these are kind of like preemptive like topics, getting ready for like shit that's going to be happening this summer, and then like bleeding into the fall. So I really like
Yeah.
how this was like set up there.
That's why I chose
But
it.
yeah, well, I mean, Nightmare Fuel. Props to Nightmare Fuel. If
Yeah,
this was Whose Line Is
What
It
a
Anyway,
god.
Yeah.
I'd give 1,000 points to Nightmare Fuel, and he would win.
Yes.
And Goichi Beef and I would be doing a hoedown right now.
Oh my
So,
god.
but I think that's gonna put a wrap on it for our May 21st edition of the Long Live Junto podcast. Uh, as always, it's been a pleasure, boys, and I can't wait to be with you guys soon, to have all four of us in the same room again, much like our first episode, where we get to chit chat, laugh, and shoot the shit a lot.
It's
So
gonna be great.
appreciate everybody. Absolutely, I appreciate everybody tuning in for the stream. And like always, check out our YouTube page, check out our Twitter, Instagram bios for our link tree. Make sure you're subscribed and you're getting updates so you guys don't miss anything. We're going to have some videos coming out throughout the next week. We'll have some more live streams coming at you. And then, we'll have eventually, we're going to have more episodes coming through where we're going to drop some knowledge and shoot the shit with everyone. So thank you to everyone who tuned in, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks,
for
chat.
watching.
See you guys.
Bye.
Yep.